My child, stop for a moment. Do not brush this off. I am trying to save you from a great accident, and you need to hear me before you take another step. You may think everything is under control. You may believe you still have time to adjust later. But I see where this path leads if you continue without reflection. I see the consequence forming while you are still calling it harmless. That is why I am speaking now, not tomorrow. Stay with me. Do not skip ahead. Do not let distraction steal what could protect you. What I am about to show you will challenge you, steady you, and possibly redirect you. Listen carefully. This is not random. This is intervention. And what you choose after this will matter more than you realize. My child, I need you to slow down with me for a moment. I am not stepping into your thoughts right now to control you or frighten you. I am stepping in because I see further down the road than you do. You are walking through your days making decisions the best way you know how, trying to balance responsibilities, emotions, expectations, and quiet pressures that no one else fully understands. I have watched you carry all of that. I have watched you try to stay steady even when your mind feels crowded and your heart feels tired. And I am not disappointed in you. I am concerned for you in the way a father becomes concerned when he sees his child walking toward something dangerous without realizing it. You do not see the full shape of what is forming ahead. You see what looks manageable. You see what feels justified. You see what appears small enough to handle. But I see the ripple effect. I see how one unguarded decision can connect to another, how one emotional moment can create consequences that stretch further than you intended. I am not accusing you of being reckless. You are not reckless. You are human. You are navigating complex emotions while trying to appear strong. You are making choices while tired. And when you are tired, you are more vulnerable than you realize. That is why I am interrupting you gently, but firmly. I want your attention before momentum carries you somewhere you did not plan to go. I know the thoughts you have been entertaining. I know the conversations you are considering. I know the compromises you are quietly justifying in your mind. You have told yourself that it is not a big deal, that you can manage it, that you will fix it later if needed. But I need you to hear me clearly. Sometimes the accident does not feel dramatic at the beginning. It begins as something that seems reasonable. It begins in a moment where your guard is lowered and your heart just wants relief. I am not here to shame you for wanting relief. I understand your exhaustion. I understand your longing for something to change. I understand how heavy things have felt. But relief that leads you into deeper trouble is not the kind of relief I want for you. I want something better than temporary escape. I want lasting safety for your soul, your future, and your peace. There are patterns developing around you that you have not fully recognized yet. There are influences brushing against your life that do not carry the same care for your well-being that I do. You may think you are in control of the situation, and in some ways you are, but there are variables you cannot account for. I see how timing is aligning. I see how certain doors are inching open at the same time your emotional defenses are thinning. That combination is not random. You have been under pressure, and pressure makes certain options look more attractive than they would have looked a few months ago. That is why I am speaking now instead of later. If I waited until the consequences became obvious, it would already cost you more than it needs to. I would rather feel intrusive for a moment than watch you carry avoidable regret. You may feel a subtle tension in your chest lately when you think about a certain step you are about to take. You may feel a hesitation you cannot logically explain. You might have brushed it off as anxiety, but that gentle restraint is not there to frustrate you. It is there to protect you. I am placing that pause inside you because I love you deeply. I am not trying to control your freedom. I am trying to guard your future. There are blessings ahead that require you to remain steady right now. There are relationships, opportunities, and seasons of growth that depend on you navigating this moment wisely. If you rush through this crossroad without listening, you could delay what I have carefully been preparing for you. I need you to trust that when I interrupt your plans, it is not rejection. It is protection. You may not understand the full picture today, but you will one day look back and see that this interruption was mercy. I am trying to save you from a great accident, and I am doing it not with anger, not with threat, but with steady love. Stay with me in this conversation. Let me guide you through this moment carefully. My child, I want you to come closer and listen carefully because what I am about to say may change the way you see your own life. When you hear the word accident, your mind probably jumps to something sudden and visible. You imagine flashing lights, broken metal, chaos that arrives without warning. But the kind of accident I am trying to save you from is quieter than that. It unfolds slowly. It grows in small decisions that feel harmless at first. It hides inside casual compromises and emotional reactions. You do not wake up one morning intending to harm your future. You simply make one choice while distracted, another while frustrated, and another while lonely. That is how the drift begins. I am not speaking to you to accuse you. I am speaking because I can see the pattern forming before you can. I see how tired you have been. I see how the pressure has built around you. And I see how that pressure makes certain shortcuts look reasonable. You tell yourself that you deserve relief. You tell yourself that you can manage the consequences. You tell yourself that you will fix it if it ever becomes serious. But I need you to pause with me right now. Stop and examine the direction, not just the moment. Look beyond the immediate comfort. Ask yourself where this road ends. I want you to do something practical. Breathe slowly and picture the next 6 months if you continue exactly as you are thinking of continuing. Do not rush this exercise. Let your mind travel forward. Feel the emotional weight of what could grow from one impulsive move. That quiet nudge you have been sensing is not random anxiety. It is discernment. It is my hand resting on your shoulder before you step too far. You may have dismissed that feeling as overthinking, but I am asking you now to reconsider. When your spirit hesitates, do not override it so quickly. Sit with it. Reflect on it. Ask me directly, is this safe for me? I will answer you, but you must be willing to hear what I say even if it challenges what you want in the moment. You are at a subtle crossroads. Nothing looks dramatic yet, which is exactly why this is dangerous. The most serious damage often begins in what feels small. A conversation that goes a little too far. A habit that becomes slightly more frequent. A boundary that becomes slightly more flexible. These things rarely explode at the beginning. They simply expand. I am inviting you to become aware of expansion before it controls you. Pay attention to where your time is going. Pay attention to who influences your thinking. Pay attention to what you justify when you are emotionally drained. I want you to take inventory tonight. Yes, tonight. Sit somewhere quiet and review your recent decisions without defending them. Be honest with yourself, not hurry but honest. Ask, is this leading me toward peace or pressure? Toward clarity or confusion? I am not demanding perfection from you. I am inviting maturity from you. There is a difference. You are capable of wise judgment, but wisdom requires pause. It requires reflection. It requires you to resist the rush. You do not need to prove anything to anyone by moving quickly. You do not need to silence your discomfort by distracting yourself. You do not need to accept every opportunity placed in front of you. I want you to understand something deeply. Restraint is not weakness. Caution is not cowardice. Deliberation is not delay. These are strengths that protect your future. I am asking you now to step back from anything that feels slightly misaligned. You do not have to make a dramatic announcement. You simply have to adjust your direction quietly. Move slower. Speak less when you are upset. Decline what feels off. Create distance where your spirit feels crowded. I am not trying to remove joy from your life. I am protecting joy that has not yet arrived. Trust me enough to choose long-term safety over short-term satisfaction. Let me guide you through this narrow passage so you do not have to learn through unnecessary pain. My child, I want to talk to you about the feeling you have been trying to ignore. That internal signal that something is not quite right. You have felt it more than once recently. It shows up when you think about a specific decision. It surfaces when certain names appear on your phone. It stirs when you imagine stepping into a particular situation. You have tried to rationalize it away. You told yourself you were being overly cautious. You told yourself you were imagining risks that do not exist. But that unease is not a flaw in you. It is a gift. It is awareness placed inside you for your protection. I designed you with instincts for a reason. When something threatens your well-being, even subtly, your body and spirit react before your logic catches up. I need you to respect that response instead of silencing it. Sit still for a moment and remember the last time you ignored that inner caution. Recall how it unfolded. Recall how you later realized you had sensed the warning in advance. That memory is not there to shame you. It is there to teach you. You are not foolish. You are learning. And I am guiding you in that learning process. When you feel that tightening in your chest or that quiet voice saying, "Wait," do not override it just because others seem comfortable. You are not responsible for matching their pace. You are responsible for guarding your own life. I want you to practice something simple but powerful. When you sense that inner hesitation, do not respond immediately. Delay your answer. Step away from the situation. Give yourself space to process. You do not owe instant responses to anyone. You owe yourself thoughtful decisions. Let that be your new standard. You are allowed to say, "I need time to think." You are allowed to change your mind. You are allowed to walk away from something that does not feel aligned. These are not acts of weakness. They are acts of wisdom. I also want you to examine the environments you have been placing yourself in. Atmosphere shapes behavior more than you realize. If you consistently surround yourself with urgency, you will begin to act urgently. If you immerse yourself in negativity, your thinking will gradually darken. I am asking you to become intentional about where you stand. Choose spaces that strengthen you instead of draining you. Choose conversations that elevate your thinking instead of confusing it. Protect your mental and emotional boundaries the way you would protect your physical safety. You lock your doors at night without feeling guilty. Apply that same logic to your inner world. Guard your mind. Guard your time. Guard your energy. You do not have unlimited capacity, and pretending you do will exhaust you. I am inviting you to simplify. Reduce unnecessary noise. Limit exposure to what unsettles you. Make room for quiet reflection. When your environment becomes calmer, your discernment becomes clearer. You will begin to distinguish between fear and genuine warning. You will recognize when I am guiding you and when anxiety is simply reacting. But that clarity requires space. Give yourself that space intentionally. Schedule moments of stillness instead of waiting for them to happen. Speak to me honestly during those times. Tell me what confuses you. Tell me what tempts you. Tell me what scares you. I am not distant from your daily struggles. I am deeply involved in them. You're not navigating this alone unless you choose to ignore my guidance. Let my voice become louder than the noise around you. I am trying to save you from a great accident, not by force, but by awareness. Accept that awareness. Act on it. Trust that the caution you feel is evidence of my care for you. My child, I want you to feel the weight of this moment without panic, without pressure, just awareness. You are moving quickly right now. Your thoughts are racing. Your schedule is tight. Your emotions are louder than usual. When your life begins to spin at that speed, your discernment can blur. I'm asking you to slow your steps, not because you are incapable, but because speed can create blind spots. You may believe that acting fast shows strength, that pushing forward proves resilience, that staying busy keeps you safe from overthinking. But haste can produce hidden harm. Wicked choices often create quiet consequences. You do not always see the impact immediately. It unfolds later, sometimes when you are least prepared to handle it. I want you to step back and consider how you have been making decisions lately. Have you been choosing from clarity or from exhaustion? Have you been responding from peace or from pressure? Be honest with yourself. Do not defend your patterns. Examine them. You owe yourself that honesty. I am not disappointed in you for feeling overwhelmed. I understand your fatigue. But I do not want your fatigue deciding your future. Slow your breathing. Reduce the rush. Cancel what is unnecessary. Create margin in your day. You do not have to fill every moment. You do not have to answer every request. You do not have to fix everything immediately. Give yourself permission to pause. That pause may feel uncomfortable at first. It may feel like you are losing momentum. But sometimes the most powerful move is restraint. When you slow down, you see what was invisible while you were running. You begin to notice small signals you previously ignored. You start recognizing patterns in your reactions. That awareness is protection. I want you to understand something deeply. I am not trying to limit your life. I am guarding it. When you rush into conversations without reflection, you risk saying words you cannot retrieve. When you rush into commitments without evaluation, you risk binding yourself to situations that drain you. When you rush into emotional responses without grounding, you risk fracturing relationships that matter. Slow your pace. Lower your voice when you are upset. Delay your decisions when you feel triggered. Give yourself one night before you respond to anything major. Make that a rule for yourself. It will save you from avoidable pain. I'm inviting you into steady thinking. Stable steps. Calm courage. Do not mistake noise for progress. Do not mistake urgency for importance. The accident I am trying to prevent may look like one impulsive message sent in frustration, one agreement made in loneliness, one reaction given in pride. Small sparks can ignite serious fires. Guard the spark. Protect your peace. Choose deliberation over impulse. Your future deserves that level of care. Now I want you to look at your calendar and your commitments. Examine them carefully. Are you stretching yourself thin to prove something? Are you saying yes when your spirit quietly says no? You do not need to earn your worth through overextension. You do not need to impress anyone by sacrificing your own stability. If something consistently leaves you unsettled, take that seriously. If a situation drains your energy repeatedly, reassess it. You have been tolerating more than you should because you do not want to disappoint others. But ignoring your limits will eventually disappoint you. I am calling you into wise boundaries. Boundaries are not barriers against love. They are structures that protect love from breaking under strain. Speak clearly when something feels misaligned. Withdraw gently when an environment becomes unhealthy. You are allowed to protect your peace. You are allowed to protect your time. I want you to practice intentional stillness. Sit quietly tonight without distraction. Let your thoughts settle. Notice what surfaces. Pay attention to recurring concerns. That repetition inside you is not random. It is information. Reflect on it with me. Ask me directly, what should I release? What should I delay? What should I decline? Then listen without forcing an answer. Wisdom often arrives softly. It does not scream. It steadies. You will feel a calm certainty when you align correctly. It will not always be the easiest option, but it will feel clean. That clarity is your safe word. Trust it. Walk in it. The road ahead is safer when your steps are measured. I am protecting you through the pause. Receive that protection with gratitude instead of frustration. Let your slowing become strength. Let your restraint become resilience. I am with you in every careful step. My child, I need to speak to you honestly about the company you keep. You are influenced more deeply than you admit. The voices around you shape your thinking. The attitudes around you affect your mood. The values around you gradually become your own. This is not weakness, it is human design. You absorb atmosphere. You mirror energy. You internalize repeated perspectives. That is why I am asking you to examine who you are allowing close access to your heart. Not everyone who stands near you is meant to walk with you long term. Some people are seasonal. Some are situational. Some are simply not aligned with where I am guiding you. I am not telling you to judge them. I am asking you to discern their impact on you. When you leave certain conversations, how do you feel? Drained or strengthened? Confused or clarified? Anxious or angered? Those reactions are data. Do not ignore them. You have been tolerating subtle negativity because you do not want to appear critical. But constant exposure to unstable thinking will gradually destabilize you. I want you to protect your mental space with intention. You would not allow someone to continually damage your home. Do not allow someone to continually damage your peace. This does not mean you must confront everyone aggressively. It means you adjust access. Reduce time where influence feels harmful. Increase time where growth feels natural. Choose relationships that sharpen your character instead of dulling it. Surround yourself with those who challenge you toward wisdom, not toward recklessness. You are at a sensitive point in your journey. Your next season requires clarity and stability. If you surround yourself with chaos, you will struggle to remain grounded. I am not isolating you. I am refining your circle. Pay attention to subtle pressure from others to act quickly, to bend your values, to compromise your standards. That pressure may be disguised as encouragement, but not all encouragement is healthy. Some invitations carry hidden consequences. Be selective. Be thoughtful. You do not owe access to everyone. Look at how certain relationships have shifted your behavior recently. Have you begun justifying actions you once resisted? Have you softened boundaries you once held firmly? Have you started adopting attitudes that do not reflect your deeper convictions? Be honest. This is not about blame. It is about awareness. The accident I am trying to prevent may come through influence rather than intention. You may not plan to drift, but if you consistently stand in unstable company, drift becomes likely. I want you to practice courageous evaluation. Identify one relationship that feels misaligned. Do not react impulsively. Instead, create healthy space. Observe what changes inside you when that space exists. Notice whether your thinking becomes clearer. Notice whether your peace increases. These shifts will reveal more than arguments ever could. I am asking you to elevate your standards without arrogance. Choose integrity over popularity. Choose depth over distraction. Choose steady companions over unpredictable influences. Your life carries weight. Your future holds responsibility. Protect it intentionally. I also want you to seek counsel from those who have demonstrated wisdom consistently. Do not isolate yourself in pride. Invite guidance. Ask questions. Receive correction without defensiveness. You are not losing independence by doing this. You are strengthening it. The right voices will not control you. They will stabilize you. The right relationships will not pressure you. They will encourage patience and clarity. As you adjust your circle, you may feel uncomfortable at first. Change often feels lonely before it feels peaceful. But trust me in this adjustment. I am not removing people to harm you. I am repositioning you to protect you. The accident I see ahead can be avoided if you guard your influences wisely. Take responsibility for your environment. Curate it carefully. You are not powerless in this. You are capable of choosing wisely. Act on that capability. Move intentionally. Stay alert. I am guiding you toward safety, one relationship at a time. My child, I want you to sit with me in honesty for a few minutes, because what is happening in your mind right now matters more than you realize. The accident I am trying to prevent does not begin with your hands. It begins with your thoughts. Your mind is the doorway to your direction. What you entertain repeatedly will eventually influence what you choose. I have watched certain ideas linger longer than they should. I have seen you revisit scenarios in your imagination, replay conversations, rehearse responses, justify possibilities. You may think those mental rehearsals are harmless, but they are shaping your emotional posture. They are building comfort with things that once felt questionable. This is how drift becomes normal. Not in one dramatic moment, but in quiet consideration that slowly lowers resistance. I am asking you to guard your thinking deliberately. Do not let your mind wander wherever emotion pulls it. Interrupt unhealthy thought patterns. Replace assumptions with reflection. Question narratives that feed resentment or temptation. When you catch yourself fantasizing about a path that conflicts with your deeper values, stop. Do not indulge it. Shift your focus intentionally. Stand up if you need to. Change your environment. Move your body. Pray aloud. Take action to redirect yourself. Passive awareness is not enough. You must participate in protecting your own mind. I gave you the capacity to choose what you dwell on. Use that capacity. You are not a victim of every passing thought. You can evaluate them. You can reject them. You can reshape them. I want you to practice mental discipline without harsh self-judgment. When you notice yourself drifting toward negativity or risky curiosity, acknowledge it calmly and redirect. Speak truth to yourself. Remind yourself of your long-term goals. Remind yourself of the peace you want to maintain. Your future stability depends on what you allow to take root today. You may feel that no one sees your internal struggle. I see it. I see the private tension. I see the pull between what feels immediately satisfying and what protects your long-term health. Use protection. Choose clarity. Choose internal order over internal chaos. The decision will save you from consequences that begin invisibly but end visibly. And now consider what you are consuming daily. The content you absorb influences your desires more than you admit. Images, conversations, stories, digital noise, they all leave residue. That residue shapes your perception of what is normal and acceptable. I am inviting you to clean your mental space with intention. Reduce exposure to what stirs unhealthy comparison. Limit contact with content that fuels dissatisfaction. Curate your intake deliberately. Replace random scrolling with reflective reading. Replace endless commentary with moments of quiet. You do not need constant stimulation. You need grounded stability. The more noise you invite into your mind, the harder it becomes to hear discernment clearly. I want you to conduct a practical review of your daily habits. Write them down if necessary. Observe where your attention goes most often. Evaluate whether those patterns are strengthening or weakening your judgment. Do not rush through this exercise. Give it serious thought. This is not about perfection. It is about direction. If you find that certain inputs consistently leave you unsettled, reduce them immediately. You do not need dramatic announcements. You simply need consistent boundaries. Guard your mind the way you would guard something valuable, because it is valuable. The accident I see forming could be fueled by gradual normalization of ideas that conflict with your deeper convictions. Prevent that normalization now, not before it becomes embedded. Invite healthier influences into your thinking. Seek wisdom intentionally. Surround yourself with voices that encourage discernment instead of impulse. You are capable of thoughtful evaluation. You are capable of disciplined focus. Exercise that capability daily. Your mind is not meant to be an open field for every passing influence. It is meant to be cultivated. Cultivate it carefully. Tend to it with intention. I am guiding you toward mental clarity because clarity will shield you from confusion-driven decisions. Protect your thinking now, and you will protect your future later. My child, I need you to examine something that often hides beneath confidence: pride. Pride does not always appear loud or arrogant. Sometimes it shows up quietly as self-reliance that resists guidance. It whispers that you can manage everything alone. It suggests that asking for help exposes weakness. It convinces you that you must prove your capability by handling challenges independently. I understand your desire to stand strong. I admire your resilience. But strength without humility can become stubbornness. Stubbornness can blind you to warning signs. And blindness, at the wrong moment, leads to preventable harm. I see how you have been carrying burdens silently. I see how you hesitate to seek counsel because you do not want to appear unsure. I want you to reconsider that approach. Inviting guidance does not diminish you. It protects you. The accident I am trying to prevent may come through overconfidence. You may believe you can navigate a risky situation without support. You may assume you can control variables that are not fully within your power. That assumption can create exposure you did not anticipate. I am asking you to humble yourself before the situation humbles you. Reach out to someone wise. Share your thoughts honestly. Invite perspective. You do not have to reveal every detail publicly. But find one trusted voice and speak openly. Allow correction without defensiveness. Listen without immediately explaining yourself. You will gain clarity through that humility. Pride narrows your view. Humility expands it. I want expansion for you. I want protection for you. Do not let the need to appear strong prevent you from being safe. You are not weaker for asking questions. You are wise. Admit uncertainty where it exists. Acknowledge limits. You are not infinite. You are human. That reality is not a flaw. It is a condition that requires interdependence. Accept that. Work with it. Also examine whether you are pushing forward in certain areas simply to prove something to someone. If your motivation is validation rather than alignment, pause. Recalibrate. You do not need external applause to justify your decisions. When pride fuels action, it often overrides caution. You may ignore subtle red flags because you do not want to admit reconsideration. That resistance can trap you in avoidable difficulty. I am inviting you to detach your identity from your current path. If you need to adjust direction, do it confidently. You are allowed to change course. You are allowed to admit miscalculation. Doing so does not erase your strength. It refines it. I want you to cultivate quiet confidence rather than defensive independence. Quiet confidence listens. It evaluates. It adapts. Defensive independence rejects it reflexively. Choose the first posture. It will protect you. There are individuals who would gladly offer perspective if you invited it. Do not isolate yourself emotionally. Isolation amplifies distorted thinking. It grabs it. The accident I see forming may be avoided simply through honest conversation. Do not wait until consequences force transparency. Choose voluntary transparency now. Speak before silence becomes regret. I am not trying to expose you. I am trying to shield you. Humility will be your safeguard in this season. Let it guide your next step. Open your heart to correction. Open your ears to wisdom. You are strong enough to admit vulnerability. You are wise enough to seek support. Act on that wisdom immediately. Your future stability may depend on it. My child, humility does not end with seeking counsel. It also opens your hand to sow into what protects others from the same fall. As I am saving you from great accident, I am also sending this message as a shield for many who are walking blindly toward their own unseen edge. When you give through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are planting seed into fertile soil, and I declare to you now, as you sow, so shall you reap in multiplied measure. This is not a transaction. It is participation in rescue. Your generosity becomes oil in the lamp that keeps this light burning for wandering souls. I see those who will be redirected, restored, and restrained from harm because you chose to support this mission. If your heart feels the nudge, that is my spirit inviting you into divine partnership. I will guard what concerns you as you help me guard others. Act now, sow boldly, and let humility become harvest. My child, I want you to lean in and listen to me carefully here because this is where many accidents begin. Not on a highway, not in a dramatic crash. They begin inside your chest when emotion takes the driver's seat and wisdom gets pushed into the back. You have been feeling deeply lately. Your heart hath been stretched thin. You have been carrying frustration, disappointment, maybe even quiet anger that you have not fully processed. I see it. I understand it. I am not judging you for it. You are human, and your emotions are real. But I need you to recognize something important. Feelings are powerful, but they are not always safe guides. When you are hurt, you can overreact. When you are lonely, you can attach too quickly. When you are angry, you can speak words that create fractures you cannot easily repair. I'm asking you right now to pause before you respond to anything that stirs you strongly. Do not send that message immediately. Do not make that call while your voice is shaking. Do not commit to something while your heart is unsettled. Step away. Wash your face. Go outside. Take 10 slow breaths and let your body calm down before your mouth opens or your fingers type. You may think that acting quickly proves confidence, but sometimes it proves impulsiveness. And impulsiveness can cost you more than you expect. I am not telling you to suppress what you feel. I am telling you to process it with me before you act on it. Bring your anger to me. Bring your confusion to me. Speak it honestly. Do not filter it. Let me help you separate what is valid from what is reactive. That is how you avoid the kind of emotional accident that damages relationships and disturbs your peace. Your emotions are signals, not instructions. Treat them as information, not commands. I want you to become steady, not cold. Sensitive, not unstable. You can feel deeply and still choose wisely. But you must slow down enough to do it. Make this your rule. No major decision in a heightened state. Let calm return first. Protect your future from a moment of intensity. You are capable of restraint. Exercise it. Now I want you to think about how emotion has influenced your recent decisions. Reflect honestly. Have you agreed to something because you felt guilty? Have you stayed silent because you feared conflict? Have you said yes when you wanted to say no because you were afraid of disappointing someone? These emotional pressures can quietly steer your direction without you realizing it. I am inviting you to reclaim your agency. Your choices should come from clarity, not coercion. If you sense that someone is pushing you while your emotions are elevated, create space. Say you need time. Do not let urgency manipulate you. If you are in a conversation that feels heated, lower your tone deliberately. Slow your speech. Refuse to escalate. You control your response even when you cannot control the situation. That control is strength. Use it. I also want you to examine whether you are chasing emotional relief in ways that compromise your long-term stability. When you feel empty, do you reach for distractions that only mask the deeper issue? When you feel unseen, do you gravitate toward attention that may not be healthy for you? I am not condemning you. I am guiding you. Emotional hunger can lead to risky attachments. Guard yourself during those vulnerable moments. Instead of reaching outward impulsively, come inward first. Sit with me. Journal your thoughts. Pray honestly. Allow the intensity to settle before you seek solutions. Solutions chosen in emotional storms rarely hold steady. Wait until your internal weather clears. I promise you, clarity feels different from intensity. Clarity is calm, even when firm. Intensity is loud and urgent. Learn to distinguish the two. The accident I am trying to save you from could be as simple as one emotionally charged decision that changes your trajectory. Protect yourself from that. Choose steadiness over speed. Choose reflection over reaction. You are stronger than your mood. Act like it. My child, I know you are frustrated with awaiting. I know you have prayed for movement, for breakthrough, for something to shift. You feel as though you have been standing at the edge of progress while nothing moves. You look around and see others advancing, achieving, stepping into new opportunities. And quietly, you wonder why your path feels slower. I want you to hear me clearly. The delay you are experiencing is not punishment. It is protection. There are timelines you cannot see. There are factors aligning behind the scenes that you are not aware of. If certain doors opened right now, you would walk through them with incomplete preparation. That is not an insult. It is reality. Growth takes time. Stability takes refinement. I am not withholding good from you. I am refining you so that when the good arrives, you can sustain it. You have been tempted to force movement. You have considered pushing harder, manipulating outcomes, taking shortcuts just to escape the feeling of stagnation. Resist that urge. Forcing open a door that is not ready can expose you to consequences you are not equipped to handle. I need you to trust that I am aware of your timeline. I am not distracted. I am not indifferent. I see your effort. I see your discipline. I see your faithfulness. The pause you are in has purpose. It is shaping your character quietly. It is strengthening your discernment. It is building endurance that will matter later. If you rush this phase, you will bypass lessons that safeguard your future. Instead of fighting the delay, lean into it. Ask yourself what you are meant to learn right now. What habits are being formed? What weaknesses are being aggressed? What patience is being developed? Use this season intentionally. Prepare quietly. Organize your life. Strengthen your skills. Deepen your integrity. When the door opens, you will step through with confidence rather than chaos. But confidence will come from preparation, not luck. I also want you to consider how desperation can cloud judgment during seasons of waiting. When you feel stuck, almost any opportunity looks appealing. You may lower your standards just to feel movement. You may accept less than what aligns with your long-term vision simply to escape discomfort. That is where accidents happen, not in explosive rebellion, but in subtle settling. I am asking you not to settle. Raise your standards, not lower them. Trust that quality takes time. Trust that alignment requires patience. Do not compare your timeline with someone else's. Comparison breeds unnecessary urgency. Your path is unique. Your pace is intentional. If you rush into something prematurely, you may later wish you had waited. Let patience become your shield. When impatience rises, speak truth over yourself. Remind yourself that steady growth outlasts rushed success. Take inventory of how far you have already come. Acknowledge your progress. Celebrate small improvements. Gratitude reduces desperation. When you are grateful, you are less likely to grasp impulsively. I am inviting you to embrace this season fully. Stop resisting it. Stop complaining about it internally. Instead, treat it as sacred preparation. The accident I am preventing may be tied directly to impatience. If you wait, you avoid it. If you force movement, you risk unnecessary struggle. Choose patience deliberately. Choose trust intentionally. Let the delay do its work in you. Your future is not behind schedule. It is unfolding precisely as it needs to. Stay steady. Stay disciplined. Stay anchored. I am guiding you carefully, even when you cannot see the movement yet. My child, I need you to pay very close attention here because what you are calling small is not small at all. You are standing at the edge of a subtle compromise, and you are trying to convince yourself that it will not matter. You have been reasoning with yourself. You have been softening your own boundaries in quiet ways. You have said, "It's just this once." You have told yourself that you can manage the consequences. But I see how small shifts become steady slides. I see how one side step off center makes the next step easier, and the next one easier still. The accident I am trying to save you from may begin with something that looks harmless, almost invisible. That is how it works. Not loud, not obvious, just a gentle bending of what you once held firmly. I want you to stop right now and ask yourself, what boundary have I relaxed lately that I once protected? What value have I diluted to make something more convenient? Be honest with yourself. Do not rush past that question. Sit with it. Let it settle. You do not need to defend your reasoning to me. I already understand your motives. I know you are tired. I know you want relief. I know you want connection, validation, momentum. But relief built on compromise creates regret. You may not feel the weight immediately, but it accumulates. Integrity erodes quietly before consequences appear publicly. I am not accusing you. I am protecting you. You have built stability over time. You have worked hard to grow, to mature, to strengthen your character. Do not trade that growth for a moment of convenience. Step back from the edge. Reinstate the boundary. Strengthen it. Speak clearly where you have been vague. Withdraw gently where you have been too accessible. You are not being dramatic. You are being wise. The enemy of your future rarely announces itself boldly. It whispers gently. It offers shortcuts. It promises that you will not lose anything important. But shortcuts cut something every time. They cut preparation. They cut protection. They cut peace. Do not be fooled by the appearance of ease. If something requires you to soften your integrity to maintain it, the thing will cost you more later. Guard your standards carefully. Raise them if necessary. Do not lower them to keep someone comfortable. You are not here to maintain shallow harmony at the expense of deep stability. Now I want you to consider how compromise affects your internal confidence. When you bend what you know is right, even slightly, you begin to doubt yourself. You may not notice it at first, but it shows up in small ways. You second-guess your instincts. You hesitate when making decisions. You feel slightly unsettled in situations that once felt clear. That internal dissonance is not random. It is the signal that your actions and your values are misaligned. I want you to restore alignment before that dissonance grows louder. Take one concrete action today that reaffirms your integrity. If you have allowed a conversation to drift in a direction that feels unsafe, correct it. If you have entertained a habit that weakens your focus, interrupt it decisively. If you have agreed to something that conflicts with your principles, reconsider it respectfully. You are allowed to revise your decisions. You are allowed to say, I need to adjust. That does not make you unstable. It makes you accountable. I am not asking you to be rigid. I'm asking you to be rooted. There is a difference. Rooted people can bend in flexibility without breaking their foundation. Compromised people bend until they collapse. I want you rooted. Your life carries influence. Others watch how you respond under pressure. You may not see their eyes, but they observe your patterns. When you choose integrity in small moments, you build strength for larger ones. The accident I am preventing may not be immediate disaster. It may be gradual erosion. And erosion, left unchecked, reshapes landscapes. Protect your landscape. Protect your character. Strengthen your resolve quietly. Do not announce it loudly. Just live it consistently. You will feel your internal confidence return as alignment returns. That peace will confirm you made the right decision. Choose that peace over temporary approval. Choose long-term stability over short-term satisfaction. I am guiding you towards safety through integrity. Accept that guidance now. My child, I want you to imagine something with me. Picture yourself 5 years from now. Picture the version of you who has grown, matured, stabilized. Picture the version of you who has achieved the things you are working toward right now. That future version is shaped by the decisions you make today. You may think that this moment is small in the grand scheme of your life, but it is not isolated. Every choice you make now becomes part of a pattern. Patterns form habits. Habits shape character. Character determines direction. I'm asking you to consider your future self carefully. Would that future version of you thank you for the decision you are about to make? Or would that version of you quietly wish you had exercised more caution? Let that perspective guide you. You do not live only for the present hour. You are building something. You are constructing a life piece by piece. One careless decision can introduce cracks that take years to repair. I am not trying to frighten you. I am trying to widen your perspective. When you are tempted to act impulsively, zoom out. Expand your vision beyond immediate gratification. Think longer. Ask yourself whether this step aligns with the person you want to become. You have dreams. You have goals. You have responsibilities that extend beyond your current comfort. Protect those dreams fiercely. Protect your long-term vision. Do not allow a temporary desire to override permanent values. I see the potential in you clearly. I see the leadership capacity in you. I see the stability you are capable of building. But potential requires protection. It requires intentional choices. It requires discipline in moments where shortcuts look appealing. You may feel that no one will notice if you drift slightly, but you will notice, and your future will feel it. The accident I am preventing may not destroy you immediately. It may simply delay you, and delay born of avoidable decisions can create frustration that lingers. I want you moving forward with confidence, not repairing unnecessary detours. Guard your direction carefully. Now I want you to take ownership of your influence. Whether you realize it or not, someone looks up to you. Someone observes how you handle stress. Someone learns from how you navigate temptation. Your decisions ripple outward. They shape not only your life, but the lives connected to you. That reality is not meant to burden you. It is meant to anchor you. When you choose wisely, you strengthen more than yourself. When you compromise, the ripple extends further than you expect. I am inviting you to elevate your thinking. Rise above the narrow lens of immediate comfort. Stand firmly in who you are becoming. If you need to step away from a risky environment, do it. If you need to decline an invitation that unsettles your spirit, decline it. If you need to distance yourself from an influence that weakens your focus, create that space. You are not being overly cautious. You are being strategic. Your future is not accidental. It is constructed. Every disciplined decision today becomes part of a stable tomorrow. I want you to feel the weight of that in a healthy way. Let it steady you. Let it mature you. Let it guide you. You are not powerless in this moment. You are not at the mercy of circumstance. You have choice. Use it deliberately. I am standing with you, guiding you, cautioning you because I love you deeply. I see the road ahead. I see where careless turns lead. I also see where disciplined steps lead. Choose the disciplined path. Choose the path that honors who you are becoming. The accident I am trying to save you from can still be avoided. Act now with wisdom. Secure your future through careful obedience in this present moment. My child, I need you to be honest with yourself about something you have been minimizing. You have seen the red flags. You noticed them the first time. You felt that quiet hesitation in your chest. You recognized the inconsistency, the instability, the subtle signal that something was not aligned. But instead of stopping, you explained it away. You told yourself you were being overly cautious. You said you did not want to overreact. You gave the benefit of the doubt again and again because you wanted the situation to work. I understand that desire. You want harmony. You want momentum. You want the relationship, the opportunity, the outcome to succeed. But ignoring red flags does not make them disappear. It only delays their impact. And delay can make the eventual consequence heavier. I am not speaking to shame you for your optimism. I am speaking to protect you from unnecessary fallout. When something repeatedly unsettles your spirit, that signal matters. When patterns repeat despite promises, that repetition matters. When behavior contradicts words, that inconsistency matters. Do not dismiss what you have clearly observed. Do not silence your discernment just because acknowledging it feels inconvenient. I want you to pause right now and list, in your own mind, the red flags you have been rationalizing. Name them clearly. Do not soften them. Call them what they are. You do not need to dramatize them. You simply need to recognize them. Clarity is protective. When you name what is misaligned, you reduce its power to confuse you. I see how you have tried to make peace with situations that subtly erode your stability. You tell yourself you can manage the risk. But constant exposure to instability wears you down over time. You may not feel the damage immediately. It accumulates quietly. Stress builds. Doubt increases. Your internal confidence weakens. I do not want that for you. I want your peace intact. I want your confidence steady. I want your environment aligned with your growth. If something consistently disrupts your clarity, create distance. If someone repeatedly crosses boundaries, reinforce them. If an opportunity requires you to ignore your instincts, reconsider it. This is not paranoia. This is prudence. Prudence protects progress. You have worked too hard to build stability to let subtle warning signs go unaddressed. Act decisively but calmly. You do not need confrontation fueled by anger. You need boundaries fueled by wisdom. Step back where necessary. Observe carefully. And trust what you see. Now I want you to understand something deeper. Red flags are not punishments. They are protection signals. They are not obstacles to your happiness. They are guardrails for your safety. When you treat them as inconveniences, you weaken your own defense system. I am inviting you to change your perspective. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What is this revealing to me?" That shift will empower you. You are not powerless in this situation. You have agency. You have choice. You can walk away. You can slow down. You can reassess. You can seek counsel. You can say no. You are not trapped unless you convince yourself that you are. The accident I am preventing may come through persistent exposure to something you already know is unstable. Repetition normalizes risk. Do not allow that normalization to take place. Interrupt it. Create space. Evaluate calmly. If you need to gather more information, do it. If you need to observe longer before committing, allow yourself that time. Patience is not weakness. It is strategy. I also want you to consider the cost of continuing without adjustment. Visualize where this path leads if nothing changes. Feel the emotional weight of that future. Let that perspective motivate you to act wisely now. You do not need to wait for a dramatic collapse to justify stepping back. Small signals are enough. Trust them. Trust yourself. Trust the discernment I have placed inside you. I am guiding you towards safety by amplifying your awareness. Respond to that awareness. Take responsibility for your environment. Protect your direction. The red flags you see are invitations to wisdom. Accept that invitation immediately. My child, I know how badly you want forward movement. You want advancement. You want breakthrough. You want visible results. But I need you to understand something that may feel counterintuitive. Progress without peace is not true progress. You can achieve external success while losing internal stability. And that imbalance eventually collapses under its own weight. I see how driven you are. I see how committed you are to improvement. But if your pursuit of advancement begins to cost you your mental clarity, your emotional balance, or your spiritual grounding, then the cost is too high. I am asking you to evaluate not just what you are gaining, but what you are sacrificing. Are you sacrificing rest? Are you sacrificing reflection? Are you sacrificing alignment with your values? These sacrifices accumulate. You may convince yourself that they are temporary, but temporary neglect often becomes an ongoing pattern. I want you to secure your peace first. Build your foundation before you build your achievements. Do not chase recognition at the expense of regulation. Do not pursue opportunity at the expense of integrity. Your internal state matters more than external milestones. You may feel pressured to move quickly because others are moving. Comparison fuels urgency. But urgency without clarity leads to errors. Slow your ambition enough to examine it. Ask yourself whether your motivation is rooted in purpose or pressure. If it is pressure, recalibrate. Pressure-driven progress rarely feels satisfying even when achieved. Purpose-driven progress feels stable, even when slow. I want you anchored in purpose. That anchoring will prevent reckless leaps. You do not need to prove your value through constant motion. Your worth is not tied to productivity. Resting strategically is not laziness. It is wisdom. Step back and assess your internal condition. If you feel chronically anxious, that is a signal. If you feel persistently drained, that is a signal. Do not ignore these internal indicators in pursuit of external applause. Secure your peace deliberately. Protect it fiercely. I also want you to examine whether the path you are pursuing aligns with your deeper calling. Not every opportunity that accelerates you is meant for you. Some paths offer speed but compromise alignment. You may feel tempted to accept something simply because it moves you forward visibly. But forward in the wrong direction is still misdirection. Take time to evaluate whether the trajectory aligns with who you are becoming. Sit quietly and reflect. Does this path strengthen your character? Does it expand your capacity responsibly? Does it allow you to remain grounded? If the answer is unclear, pause. You do not need to rush into a decision. Seek counsel. Gather perspective. Analyze long-term implications. I am not discouraging ambition. I am refining it. Ambition rooted in peace is sustainable. Ambition rooted in insecurity is volatile. I want you sustainable. The accident I am preventing may not look like failure. It may look like success achieved at too high a cost. I do not want you reaching the summit exhausted, unstable, and disconnected from yourself. I want you progressing with balance. Create rhythms of rest intentionally. Schedule moments of recalibration. Prioritize mental clarity over external speed. If something consistently disrupts your peace, reconsider its role in your life. Peace is not passive. It is powerful. It steadies your decisions. It sharpens your discernment. It protects your relationships. Guard it. Choose it. Build your life around it. When peace anchors your progress, you will move forward without losing yourself. That is the kind of advancement I desire for you. My child, I need you to recognize something that has been happening quietly around you. The distraction that keeps pulling at your attention is not harmless. It feels small. It feels manageable. It even feels deserved at times. But it is slowly stealing your focus, your clarity, and your momentum. I see how your attention hath been scattered lately. You begin something important, and before you finish it, your mind shifts. You tell yourself you will return to it later. You say you just need a short break. But the short break becomes extend in avoidance. The avoidance becomes habit. And the habit becomes distance from what truly matters. This is not about productivity alone. It is about direction. You are being drawn away from what strengthens you and pulled toward what numbs you. I am not condemning you for needing rest. Rest restores. Distraction erodes. Learn the difference. Rest leaves you refreshed. Distraction leaves you unsettled and slightly ashamed that you wasted time you cannot reclaim. I want you to examine where your attention goes when you feel uncomfortable. When you feel pressure, what do you reach for? When you feel bored, what do you open? When you feel anxious, where do your eyes turn? These patterns reveal more than you think. Distraction is often a subtle escape from confronting something deeper. It delays necessary reflection. It postpones difficult decisions. It creates noise that drowns out discernment. I am asking you to reduce the noise deliberately. Turn off what does not serve you. Limit the voices that compete for your focus. Create structured time for what truly matters. Do not allow your day to be dictated by impulse. Design it intentionally. You are not powerless against distraction. You are simply unguarded. Strengthen your guard. Set boundaries around your time. Allocate space for meaningful work. Prioritize the tasks that align with your long-term vision. If you need to remove certain temptations from your environment, do it. Rearrange your space. Change your routine. Eliminate easy access to what pulls you off course. These are practical acts of protection. The accident I am trying to prevent may not be explosive failure. It may be slow derailment through distraction. You will not notice the damage immediately. But months later, you may wonder why you are further from your goals than you expected. Protect your trajectory now. Direct your attention with intention. Focus is strength. Guard it fiercely. Now I want you to consider how distraction affects your inner life. When your mind is constantly stimulated, you lose depth. You lose the ability to sit quietly and process your thoughts. You lose sensitivity to subtle guidance. Constant stimulation makes stillness uncomfortable. But stillness is where clarity grows. If you avoid silence, you avoid self-awareness. And without self-awareness, you drift unconsciously. I am inviting you to reintroduce stillness into your daily rhythm. Schedule it if necessary. Sit without input. Reflect on your priorities. Ask yourself whether your current patterns reflect your values. This may feel uncomfortable at first because distraction has numbed certain questions. But discomfort is not danger. It is an invitation to recalibrate. I want you to be intentional about what you consume. Replace random scrolling with purposeful learning. Replace passive entertainment with constructive engagement. Replace mental clutter with focused thought. This is not about rigid discipline. It is about strategic alignment. Your attention determines your growth. What you focus on expands. If you focus on trivial matters, your life fills with trivial outcomes. If you focus on meaningful pursuits, your life gains substance. Choose substance. I also want you to recognize how distraction can make you vulnerable to poor decisions. When your mind is scattered, your judgment weakens. When your focus is fractured, your discernment dulls. Guarding your attention sharpens your awareness. The more focused you become, the easier it is to detect subtle misalignments. You will sense risk sooner. You will respond with greater clarity. That clarity protects you. Reclaim your focus intentionally. Remove unnecessary noise. Protect your mental space. The path ahead requires concentration. I am guiding you toward steady, focused movement. Accept that guidance. Beloved, just as I call you to guard your focus, I am calling you to invest it where eternal fruit grows. Distraction consumes, but devotion multiplies. When you support this work through Super Thanks membership, or the PayPal link in the video description, you are turning scattered attention into a river of living water that reaches thirsty hearts. I am using this message to interrupt derailments far beyond your sight, and you're giving fuels that sacred interruption. Remember my living word, those who refresh others will themselves be refreshed. This is your moment to replace passive consumption with purposeful sowing. Do not delay this prompting, What seems small in your hand becomes fire in mine. I will breathe upon your seed and cause it to flourish in protection, clarity, and provision. Strengthen the mission now, give, and let your focus become fruit. My child, I need to speak plainly to you now. The accident I am warning you about carries real consequences. This is not exaggeration. It is not drama. It is reality. Actions produce outcomes. Decisions create direction. You cannot repeatedly ignore caution without eventually encountering impact. I do not say this to frighten you. I say it because I respect your capacity to handle truth. If you continue down a path that conflicts with your values, instability will grow. If you maintain proximity to harmful influence, your peace will erode. If you dismiss discernment repeatedly, clarity will fade. These are natural consequences, not punishments. They are the result of patterns. I want you to understand this clearly because minimizing risk will not protect you. Honest evaluation will. You are capable of adjusting course. You are capable of stepping back before impact occurs. Do not tell yourself that you will fix things later. Later often comes with added complexity. Fix what you can now. Make the correction while the adjustment is small. If you need to apologize, do it promptly. If you need to withdraw from a harmful dynamic, do it decisively. If you need to strengthen your discipline, begin today. Delay multiplies difficulty. Early correction preserves stability. I am not watching you with condemnation. I am standing beside you with guidance. I see the potential cost of ignoring these warnings. I also see your capacity to avoid that cost entirely. Choose the wiser path. Act before momentum increases. Protect yourself through timely correction. At the same time, I want you to hear this clearly. My mercy is present even in warning. I am not preparing to abandon you if you stumble. I am not withdrawing my care because you have hesitated. My correction is evidence of my love. If I were indifferent, I would remain silent. But I am speaking because you matter deeply to me. Even if you have already taken a step you regret, you are not beyond restoration. Turn back immediately. Do not let pride keep you moving in the wrong direction. Admit missteps quickly. Seek forgiveness where needed. Realign without delay. Mercy does not remove consequences automatically, but it softens them when humility is present. I am inviting you into accountability, not shame. Shame paralyzes. Accountability empowers. When you acknowledge error, you regain control of your direction. You are not trapped by one mistake unless you refuse to correct it. I want you to feel both the seriousness of your choices and the security of my presence. You are not navigating this alone. I am here to guide you through adjustment. Take responsibility confidently. Step forward in correction. Do not dwell on guilt longer than necessary. Learn from it. Apply the lesson. Move differently. The accident can still be avoided. The damage can still be minimized. The future can still be protected. Choose wisely now. Respond to this warning with maturity. I am guiding you firmly because I care for you deeply. Walk in that care. Act in that awareness. Your safety matters. Your peace matters. Your future matters. My child, I want you to sit with me in this truth because it touches something deeper than you may want to admit. The people you allow closest to you are shaping you in subtle ways. You may believe you are strong enough to remain unaffected. You may assume your convictions are solid enough to resist influence. But proximity changes perspective. Repeated exposure softens resistance. What once startled you can start to seem normal when you hear it often enough. I am not accusing you of weakness. I am reminding you of human design. You absorb tone, habits, attitudes, even priorities from those you spend the most time around. Pay attention to how you feel after certain conversations. Do you feel sharpened or scattered? Grounded or restless? Encouraged toward integrity or gently nudged toward compromise? These questions are not dramatic. They are diagnostic. The accident I am trying to save you from may not come from your own intention. It may come from influence that gradually shifts your thinking without you noticing. You have been tolerating subtle pressure because you do not want conflict. You have been laughing at comments that once would have unsettled you. You have been staying quiet when something felt off because speaking up felt inconvenient. I need you to reassess that silence. Silence in the face of misalignment slowly erodes conviction. I'm asking you to evaluate your circle carefully, not with suspicion, but with discernment. If someone repeatedly pushes you toward risk, that pattern matters. If someone minimizes your standards, that influence matters. If someone makes poor decisions and expects you to normalize them, that expectation matters. You are not obligated to remain in every environment. You are not required to maintain every connection at the same depth. Adjust proximity where necessary. Reduce exposure where your clarity weakens. Increase distance where your peace declines. You do not need dramatic exits. You need thoughtful boundaries. Act on that. Protect your direction. Choose relationships that reinforce your values rather than challenge them in subtle ways. You deserve steady companionship, not unstable influence. Now I want you to consider how your presence affects others as well. Influence flows both directions. If you remain in environments where compromise is common, you may eventually mirror it. If you stay close to reckless thinking, you may start rationalizing reckless behavior. This is not because you are incapable. It is because repetition reshapes perception. I am inviting you to choose your influences intentionally. Seek out voices that elevate you. Spend time with people who respect your boundaries. Listen to those who challenge you toward maturity rather than indulgence. If you need to reduce time in certain spaces, do it quietly and confidently. You do not owe explanations to everyone. Your responsibility is to your growth and your safety. The accident I see forming may be avoided simply by changing who you allow to shape your environment. Do not underestimate that adjustment. It may feel small, but it carries weight. I also want you to strengthen your own influence in healthy ways. When you stand firm in your standards calmly, others notice. When you decline invitations that feel misaligned without hostility, others respect that consistency. You are not here to blend into every environment. You are here to remain anchored in who you are becoming. Take ownership of your circle. Curate it wisely. Do not wait for tension to escalate before you act. Proactive adjustment prevents reactive repair. Choose wisely now. The people around you matter. Make sure they support your direction rather than subtly steering you away from it. My child, there is another force at work in your current struggle, and it is quieter than pride or distraction. It is fear. Not dramatic fear. Not visible panic. Subtle fear. The kind that whispers that you might miss out if you do not act quickly. The kind that suggests you might lose connection if you set boundaries. The kind that implies you are falling behind if you slow down. That fear has been influencing you more than you realize. It has nudged you toward decisions rooted in avoidance rather than alignment. I want you to identify where fear has been speaking. Are you considering a choice because you genuinely believe it is right, or because you are afraid of losing something? Are you maintaining proximity to instability because you fear being alone? Are you rushing into opportunity because you fear irrelevance? These motivations matter. Fear-driven decisions rarely produce stable outcomes. They create urgency that bypasses reflection. I am asking you to confront that fear directly. Do not pretend it is not there. Name it clearly. Once named, it loses power. Say to yourself what you are afraid of. Then evaluate whether that fear is grounded in truth or imagination. Many of your anxieties are projections, not realities. You anticipate loss that has not occurred. You assume rejection that has not been expressed. You imagine scarcity where there is still provision. I need you to slow your thoughts and examine them carefully. Do not allow hypothetical outcomes to dictate real actions. The accident I am preventing may come from fear-based haste. If you act from fear, you are more likely to overcorrect, overcommit, or overreact. Replace fear with clarity. Replace urgency with discernment. Pause long enough to distinguish between genuine risk and imagined loss. That pause is protective. Use it. Now I want you to strengthen courage deliberately. Courage does not mean absence of fear. It means making decisions aligned with truth despite fear. If setting a boundary feels uncomfortable, set it anyway. If declining an invitation feels risky, decline it calmly. If waiting feels uncertain, wait with steadiness. You do not need to eliminate fear before acting wisely. You need to refuse to let fear control your direction. I am with you in this. You are not navigating uncertainty alone. If you choose alignment over anxiety, you will feel internal stability return. That stability is confirmation that you acted from clarity rather than panic. Practice speaking calmly in situations that stir fear. Practice slowing your breathing when urgency rises. Practice seeking counsel instead of isolating yourself in anxious thinking. These are practical acts of courage. The accident I see forming is avoidable if you refuse to let fear dictate your movement. You are capable of deliberate choice. Exercise that capability. Step forward in confidence, not in reaction. Fear may whisper, but it does not have authority over you. Reclaim that authority. Make decisions from grounded truth. Trust that you will not miss what is meant for you by choosing wisely. What is aligned with your growth will remain. What requires panic to maintain is not stable enough to keep. Walk in calm courage. Protect your direction. My child, I need you to let this sink in without defensiveness, without denial, just honest awareness. You are closer to a breaking point than you have allowed yourself to admit. Not because you are weak, not because you are incapable, but because you have been carrying more than you should, tolerating more than you should, and rationalizing more than you should. You have been inching forward in a direction that feels manageable step by step, yet the cumulative effect has been moving you toward a place of vulnerability. I see the pattern more clearly than you do. I see how small allowances have sacked quietly. I see how subtle compromises have accumulated. I see how fatigue has lowered your resistance just enough to make risky options appear reasonable. I am not speaking to frighten you. I am speaking because I love you deeply. If you continue in this direction unchanged, you will not crash immediately. That is what makes it dangerous. The edge does not announce itself loudly. It appears slowly, almost invisibly, until one more step becomes too much. I need you to stop advancing for a moment. Do not take another step forward in this situation until you evaluate it thoroughly. Step back physically if you must. Create space between you and whatever is pulling you closer to instability. You may feel that withdrawing looks dramatic. It is not dramatic. It is deliberate. It is protective. You deserve protection, especially from slow erosion. You may tell yourself that you still have control. In many ways you do. But control weakens when patterns repeat unchecked. I am asking you to interrupt the pattern now. Break the cycle before it strengthens. Reduce exposure to what tempts you. Remove yourself from environments that amplify your vulnerability. Reevaluate your boundaries and tighten them. Do not wait for a visible crisis to justify adjustment. You do not need visible damage to validate caution. The edge you are approaching may not destroy you, but it will cost you peace, stability, and momentum. I want you secure. I want you steady. I want you safe. Choose restraint over risk. Choose distance over danger. Choose wisdom over curiosity. You are not missing out by stepping back. You are preserving what matters. Now I want you to consider the emotional undercurrent driving you toward that edge. Often it is not desire alone. It is restlessness. It is dissatisfaction. It is the subtle feeling that something is lacking. That internal unrest makes risky options look appealing. They promise stimulation. They promise excitement. They promise escape from monotony. But stimulation is not stability. Excitement is not endurance. Escape is not healing. If you chase intensity to soothe internal emptiness, you will trade long-term peace for short-term thrill. I want you to confront that restlessness honestly. Ask yourself what is truly missing. Is it connection? Is it purpose? Is it recognition? Identify the root rather than chasing surface solutions. Address the deeper need constructively. If you crave connection, pursue healthy relationships. If you crave purpose, invest in meaningful work. If you crave recognition, strengthen your internal validation instead of seeking unstable applause. The accident I am preventing may stem from misdirected longing. When longing is unmet, temptation feels amplified. Redirect your longing wisely. Channel it into growth. Channel it into discipline. Channel it into building something sustainable. Do not allow momentary dissatisfaction to push you toward permanent consequences. You are not stuck. You are not trapped. You are at a turning point. Use this moment to recalibrate intentionally. Adjust your course now while adjustment is still simple. I am guiding you away from a dangerous edge and toward firm ground. Trust the redirection. Act on it immediately. My child, I want to speak directly to the tension you are feeling between what feels good now and what will serve you later. You are standing in that tension more often than you admit. On one side is immediate relief, quick satisfaction, instant validation. On the other side is discipline, patience, steady growth that requires restraint. The first option feels lighter in the moment. The second option feels heavier at first but produces stability over time. I need you to choose with a future in mind. Short-term relief often disguises long-term costs. It soothes temporarily while planting seeds of regret. You may tell yourself that one indulgence will not matter. But repeated indulgence becomes pattern. Pattern becomes direction. Direction becomes destiny. I am not exaggerating to create fear. I am clarifying to create awareness. The accident I am trying to prevent may be the result of consistently choosing relief over responsibility. I see how exhausted you feel. I see how tempting it is to take the easier route. But easy does not always mean safe. Immediate comfort can undermine future confidence. When you compromise today for relief, tomorrow you carry subtle guilt. That guilt erodes self-trust. And self-trust is essential for strong leadership in your own life. I want you to strengthen self-trust, not weaken it. When you choose discipline in small moments, you build confidence in larger ones. When you resist temptation today, you reinforce your integrity tomorrow. Do not underestimate the power of one wise decision. It compounds. Just as poor choices compound, so do wise ones. Stand firm in this tension. When you feel the pull toward quick relief, pause deliberately. Remind yourself what you truly want long term. Speak it aloud if necessary. Visualize the stable future you desire. Let that vision outweigh the temporary urge. You are capable of restraint. You are capable of maturity. Exercise those strengths now. I also want you to redefine what relief means. Relief does not have to be reckless. Relief can be healthy rest. It can be honest conversation. It can be constructive recreation. It can be spiritual renewal. Replace destructive relief with restorative relief. If you are tired, rest intentionally instead of escaping impulsively. If you are stressed, seek support instead of distraction. If you are discouraged, engage in activities that genuinely restore your energy. Build a life where relief aligns with growth rather than undermines it. The accident I see forming is avoidable if you shift your understanding of satisfaction. Satisfaction rooted in alignment lasts longer than stimulation rooted in impulse. Train yourself to crave stability more than intensity. That shift will protect you. You may need to make difficult choices now to secure easier days later. Accept that trade-off willingly. Discipline is not deprivation. It is delayed reward. Delaying reward strengthens character. Character sustains success. You are building a life, not chasing a moment. Keep the perspective steady. Choose long-term life over short-term relief every time. You will thank yourself later. I will walk with you through the discomfort of restraint because I care about the outcome of your story. Choose wisely now. Guard your future intentionally. My child, I need you to hear this without resentment rising in your chest. Some of the resistance you are facing right now is not opposition. It is protection. You have been frustrated by delays. You have been confused by doors that seem to open slightly and then close again. You have wondered why certain connections cooled unexpectedly. You have questioned why momentum stalled just when you thought things were finally aligning. I see your confusion. I see your disappointment. But I also see what would have happened if those doors had stayed wide open. I am blocking what you think you want because I see what it would cost you. You are interpreting resistance as rejection, but it is restraint born from love. If I allowed everything you desired in your most impatient moments, you would be carrying burdens you were not prepared to bear. You would be entangled in dynamics that would drain your peace. You would be responsible for consequences you did not fully anticipate. I am not denying you joy. I am filtering what reaches you. You must trust that my perspective extends beyond your immediate sight. When something falls apart unexpectedly, pause before labeling it failure. Examine it as intervention. When a plan collapses, resist the urge to force it back together. Let it rest. Let it dissolve if necessary. Not every loss is loss. Some endings are rescues disguised as disappointment. I am asking you to surrender your insistence. Release the need to control timing. Stop trying to reopen doors I have quietly closed. If something repeatedly resists your effort, consider that resistance intentional. Do not wrestle with barriers that are guarding you. Instead, redirect your energy toward preparation. Strengthen yourself in this season. Improve your discipline. Refine your focus. When the right door opens, it will not require frantic pushing. It will align with peace. Until then, trust the block. Accept the boundary. Stop interpreting prevention as punishment. It is preservation. Now I want you to reflect on how often you have later realized that what you once desperately wanted would have harmed you. Think about it honestly. There were opportunities you grieved when they slipped away. There were relationships you thought you could not live without. There were paths you assumed were perfect for you. Yet in time, you saw the cracks you had ignored. You saw the instability you once romanticized. You saw the cost you were blind to. That pattern is not coincidence. It is evidence that I have been protecting you quietly for longer than you realized. I want you to trust that protection more readily now. When you encounter unexpected blockage, do not react impulsively. Do not attempt to bypass it through shortcuts. Sit with it. Pray through it. Ask what lesson it carries. Sometimes blockage is correction. Sometimes it is redirection. Sometimes it is simply delay until you are stronger. I am not trying to frustrate you. I am shaping you. I am refining your patience. I am deepening your discernment. I am preventing an accident that would cost you stability. Do not fight the shield that guards you. Embrace it. Cooperate with it. Move in the direction that remains open rather than obsessing over what is closed. Your frustration will soften when you recognize the pattern of protection in your life. Look back and see it. Recognize how many times collapse became blessing in disguise. Let that memory anchor you now. I am blocking what you think you want because I care about what you truly need. Trust that care. My child, you are standing at a moment that matters more than it appears. This is not dramatic exaggeration. It is quiet truth. You are at a decision point. The direction you choose next will either reinforce the pattern I have been warning you about or break it entirely. Do not treat this as another passing reflection. Do not assume you will revisit it later. Later often arrives with increased complexity. Right now, you still have clarity. Right now, you still have manageable options. Right now, adjustment is simpler than repair. I need you to take this seriously. Look at your current trajectory honestly. If nothing changes, where will you be in 6 months? In 1 year? Feel the weight of that projection. Then ask yourself whether that outcome aligns with your deeper vision. If it does not, this is the moment to act differently. Do not wait for external crisis to force internal change. Choose proactive transformation. I am inviting you to draw a line today. Identify the behavior, influence, or pattern that needs correction. Write it down if necessary. Make a specific plan to adjust it. Do not rely on vague intention. Vague intention fades under pressure. Concrete action sustains progress. If you need accountability, seek it. If you need structure, create it. If you need distance, establish it. You are not powerless in this. You are capable of decisive change. I am not demanding perfection. I am inviting maturity. This is your turning point. Treat it with the seriousness it deserves. The accident I have been warning you about is still avoidable. But avoidance requires action, not merely awareness. Act today. Adjust today. Strengthen today. I also want you to recognize the hope within this warning. I am not speaking because destruction is inevitable. I am speaking because redirection is possible. You are not locked into your current path. You are not condemned to repeat mistakes. You are not destined for regret. You are capable of growth. You are capable of course correction. And I am present with you as you make it. When you choose differently today, you change tomorrow's outcome. When you reinforce your boundaries now, you protect your stability later. When you step back from risky influence now, you preserve your peace later. This is not about fear. It is about foresight. I want you to feel empowered, not threatened. Stand up internally and decide that your future matters enough to protect. Refuse to drift passively. Take ownership of your direction. Speak your commitment aloud if necessary. Strengthen your resolve with action. I am guiding you firmly because I see what is ahead. But I also see the strength within you to choose wisely. Do not underestimate your capacity for disciplined change. This moment can mark a new trajectory. It can become the point you look back on and say, "That was when I chose differently." Make that choice now. Embrace the turning point. Protect your future deliberately. My child, after everything I have said, I want you to understand the heart behind it. I am not warning you because I am harsh. I am not correcting you because I am distant. I am speaking this firmly because I love you deeply. You may have felt tension in my words. You may have sensed urgency. That urgency is not anger. It is care. When a father sees his child walking toward danger, he does not whisper casually. He steps forward. He calls out clearly. He places his hand on his child's shoulder and says, "Stop. Not another step." That is what I am doing with you now. I am trying to save you from a great accident. Not only a physical one. Not only an obvious one. I am saving you from the kind of accident that fractures confidence, strains relationships, erodes integrity, and steals peace quietly over time. I see how easily this could unfold if you ignore what you already know. I see how one more unchecked decision could multiply into something heavier than you intended. And because I see it, I refuse to stay silent. You matter too much to me for silence. Your future carries weight. Your life influences more people than you realize. Your stability strengthens others. Your wisdom anchors those who look to you. I will not watch you drift toward avoidable harm without speaking up. So receive this as love. Receive it as protection. Receive it as intervention wrapped in care. Do not misinterpret my firmness as rejection. It is the opposite. It is commitment. I am committed to your safety. I am committed to your growth. I am committed to seeing you thrive rather than survive consequences that could have been avoided. Let that truth soften your resistance. Let it steady your heart. You are not being restricted. You are being rescued. Now I want you to respond intentionally. Do not just agree internally and continue unchanged. Make the call you have been postponing. Send the message that clarifies your boundary. Step away from the influence that weakens you. Reorganize your routine. Strengthen your discipline. Choose alignment even if it feels uncomfortable. Do not wait for another reminder. This is your moment to solidify the shift. Speak aloud your decision to choose wisdom over impulse. Write down the adjustment you are committing to. Share it with someone trustworthy of accountability will help. Move from awareness into action. I am not asking for perfection. I am asking for participation. Walk with me in this. When you feel the pull toward old patterns, pause and remember this conversation. When temptation whispers that nothing will happen, remember the edge I showed you. When fear suggests that stepping back will cost you everything, remember that I am protecting what truly matters. You are not alone in this. I am with you in every disciplined choice. I am with you in every boundary you reinforce. I am with you in every decision to prioritize long-term stability over short-term satisfaction. Trust that my guidance is not random. It is rooted in foresight. I see further than you do. I see the ripple effects you cannot yet measure. I see the danger that is avoidable and the peace that is attainable. Choose the path that secures your future. Choose the direction that preserves your integrity. Choose the discipline that strengthens your character. I am saving you because I love you. Let that love guide your next step. My child, if you have felt my love reaching through these words, then know this. Love moves. I am saving you from great accident, and through this message I am stretching out my hand to save many more. When you give through Super Thanks, join as a member, or so through the PayPal link in the description, you become a co-laborer in this rescue. I speak to you now as it is written, give, and it shall be given unto you. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Your generosity becomes manna for the weary, light for the confused, and a wall of protection for souls standing at dangerous crossroads. This is not obligation. This is divine alignment. What you release in faith, I will multiply in favor, stability, and unseen protection over your life. Do not hesitate at the edge of obedience. Step forward now, give, and let my love flow through you to rescue others. I am here, my child. I am standing right beside you in the quiet of this moment, and I need you to listen with your heart, not just your ears. You often wait for me to speak in a thunderclap or a lightning bolt, but I want you to understand that I usually speak in whispers because I am trying to avert the loud disasters before they ever reach your door. I see the path ahead of you when you are only looking at the ground beneath your feet. I see the intersection where the world is rushing toward you, and I am calling out to you now to save you from a great accident, one that you cannot yet see, but one that I am already working to prevent. Pause for a second. Breathe in my presence and feel the tension in your shoulders begin to melt away. I know the weight you carry. I see the pressure at your job that makes your head throb and the unspoken tensions in your family that keep you up at night. You wonder if I am there in the middle of that stress, and I am telling you, I have never left. I am the watchman of your soul. I am the one who signals the check in your spirit when something feels slightly off. You know that feeling, don't you? That subtle tug, that quiet unrest that tells you to slow down or to change direction. That is not your anxiety. That is not just a random thought. That is my voice, vibrating in the stillness of your heart, signaling that there is danger on the horizon. I want you to learn the difference between your own worry and my divine prompting. Anxiety is a frantic noise that leaves you feeling drained and hopeless, like a broken record of what-ifs. But my voice, even when it brings a warning, comes with a strange kind of weight. It is a steady, firm pressure. It is a holy caution. When you feel that check, stop everything. Do not push through it. Do not ignore it because you are in a rush to meet a deadline or satisfy someone else's expectations. I am your Father, and I am telling you that immediate obedience is the highest form of safety you will ever know. When the Spirit moves within you to hesitate, you must yield. Your life is too precious to me to let you walk blindly into a wreck. Recognize that my warnings are not punishments. They are the highest expression of my love for you. I love you too much to let you be blindsided by the enemy's traps or by the consequences of a hurried world. You are my beloved, and I have chosen to be your guardian. I use the stillness of your heart as a radar to pick up on the things that are meant to harm your peace, your health, or your future. If I tell you to stay home, stay home. If I tell you to hold your tongue, be silent. If I tell you to walk away from a deal or a relationship, turn around and don't look back. I am not trying to take away your fun or your progress. I am trying to save your life. I am trying to keep your heart from breaking into 1,000 pieces. Trust me when I say that I am personally involved in every second of your day. I am not a distant God watching from a throne. I am the God who is trying to grab your hand before you step into the street. You might feel a nudge to pray for someone, or a sudden urge to check on your children. Do not dismiss these. These are the strings of my heart pulling on yours. I am giving you spiritual foresight. I am giving you eyes to see through the fog of your daily routine. Listen to the whisper now. Let it sink deep into your reality. I am your safety. I am your refuge. I am your watchman. And I am speaking to you today because I have already seen the victory I want to lead you into. And I will do whatever it takes to keep you safe until you get there. I am watching the road you are walking, and I see every choice you make. You often feel like you are wandering through life alone, making decisions in the dark. But I want you to know that your free will is a gift I have given you, a gift that I respect deeply. However, I am also the God of intervention. I am constantly working at the intersection where your choices meet my protective will. You might feel the urge to push forward, to force a door open, or to rush toward a goal that seems right in your eyes. But I am standing there, fervently beckoning you to look up. I see when you are wandering toward the edge of a cliff, distracted by the pressures of your daily life, with the lure of a quick fix for your problems. I do not force you to stop. I am not a God who overrides the heart I created, but I do whisper, I do nudge, and I do arrange the world around you to keep you from falling. Look back at your life for a moment. Do you see the times when things didn't go your way, and you were frustrated? You felt like you had failed, or like I had forgotten you. But I am telling you now, those were the moments my hand was moving behind the scenes. I was intervening in ways you couldn't understand because my perspective is superior to yours. You see the next few steps. I see the entire journey. You see the immediate relief. I see the long-term wreckage. I am asking you today to yield your plans to me. Stop trying to white-knuckle your way through your week. Stop staying up until 2:00 a.m. trying to solve problems that only I can fix. When you say, "Thy will be done," you aren't giving up your power. You are stepping into my protection. You are choosing the safety of my hand over the chaos of your own strength. I want you to understand the mystery of how I work. I use the no and the wait as tools of intervention. When you feel a sudden hesitation about a business deal, or a strange feeling about a person you just met, that is me intervening. I am trying to save you from a collision that would cost you years of peace. I invite you to walk in alignment with me. Ask me before you step. Consult with me before you commit your heart or your money to something. I'm not trying to complicate your life. I am trying to simplify it. I want to spare you the agony of a self-inflicted accident. I am your Father, and I see the traps you are about to step into. Let me lead. Trust my redirection as much as you trust my provision. I am moving heaven and earth right now to keep you on the path of life, even when you are determined to take a shortcut through the darkness. Listen closely, my child, because I need to redefine what a great accident looks like in your life. You often think of accidents as physical things, a car crash, a sudden illness, or a financial collapse. And while I certainly guard you in those ways, the most dangerous accidents are the ones that happen inside your soul. I am trying to save you from the spiritual ruin that comes when your life collides with darkness. I see the wreckage that pride causes long before the crash happens. I see how a momentary lapse in judgment, fueled by exhaustion or a need for validation, can lead to a lifetime of regret. I am speaking to you now to prevent the accident of a hardened heart, a ruined reputation, or a fractured family. I see the traps the adversary has laid in your path, traps disguised as opportunities or harmless distractions. You are living in a world that is designed to keep you distracted, but I am giving you spiritual foresight. I want you to see the collision coming before it hits. Do you feel the tension in your chest when you are about to say something you know you shouldn't? That is me trying to save you from an accident of the tongue. Do you feel that hollow emptiness when you pursue things that don't satisfy? That is me trying to save you from the accident of a wasted life. I want to save you from the great accident of losing your connection with me because you were too busy chasing shadows. I see the specific things that weigh on you. The fear that you aren't enough, the pressure to keep up with everyone else on social media, the silent struggle with an old habit that keeps calling your name. These are the seeds of an accident, and I am here to pull them up before they take root. I invite you to walk closely with me so that my vision becomes your vision. When you are near me, you start to see the oil slick on the road before your life starts to skid. You start to recognize when a trial is something I am allowing for your growth, and when a disaster is something I am desperately trying to help you avoid. I promise you that if you stay in my presence, I will show you the hidden snares. I will give you a check in your spirit that acts like a warning siren. Do not ignore the siren. Do not think you are strong enough to handle the darkness on your own. You were never meant to. I am your shield, and I am telling you that the greatest accident you will ever face is the one where you stop listening to my voice. Come back to the center. Let me clear your vision. I am saving you from things you don't even have a name for yet, because I love you with an everlasting love. I want you to think about my commandments, not as a list of rules to restrict you, but as a hedge of protection to preserve you. Obedience is your first line of defense against the great accident. When I tell you to forgive, I am not just testing your character, I am saving you from the accident of bitterness that would eventually poison your health and your relationships. When I tell you to be honest, I am protecting you from the wreckage of a life built on lies. There is a safety found within the umbrella of grace that I have provided for you. When you step outside of that umbrella, you aren't just being free, you are stepping into a storm without a coat. You are making yourself vulnerable to sudden calamities that were never meant to touch you. I know that sometimes my weight feels like a denial. You see everyone else moving ahead, getting the promotion, getting married, or finding success, and you feel like you are standing still. But I am telling you, my weight is often a life-saving command. I am keeping you at the station because there is a bridge out 10 miles down the track that you cannot see. If I let you go now, you would crash. I am preparing your heart to handle the weight of what is coming. If I gave you everything you wanted today, the accident of success would crush you because your character isn't yet strong enough to support your calling. Trust my no when the world is screaming yes. Trust the boundaries I have set for you. They are not prison walls, they are guardrails on a dangerous mountain road. I invite you to look at the relationship between a pure heart and a clear path. When you walk in obedience, your vision stays sharp. You aren't clouded by guilt or the noise of a compromised conscience. You can hear my whispers clearly because there is no static between us. Think of the people in my word who were saved by a single act of compliance. Noah building the ark when there was no rain, or the Israelites putting blood on their doorposts. Their obedience was their shield. Your obedience is yours. When you choose to honor me in the small, boring details of your life, how you handle your money, how you treat your spouse, how you speak about your boss, you are reinforcing the frame of your life. You are making yourself crash-proof against the sudden strikes of the enemy. Stay under the umbrella. Stay in the center of my will. I am your refuge, and I am protecting you in ways you won't fully understand until we are standing together in eternity. I see your frustration when a door slams shut in your face. I hear the questions you whisper in the dark. Why didn't that work out? Why did they choose someone else? Why did that opportunity dry up just when I needed it most? I want you to pause right now and take a deep breath. I want you to realize that every closed door in your life has been a divine redirection. I am blocking certain paths because I am trying to keep you from a head-on collision that you didn't see coming. What you call a missed opportunity, I call a missed catastrophe. I have stood in the way of jobs that would have destroyed your family. I have blocked relationships that would have drained your soul dry. I have closed doors to keep you from entering rooms where you were never meant to sit. I am asking you today to reframe your frustration into a psalm of gratitude. I want you to thank me for the barriers. I want you to trust that I hold the keys to every exit and every entrance in your life. When I shut a door, it is because I have something better for you, or because I am saving you from something worse. I use delays to synchronize your life with my perfect timing. You are in a rush, but I am in control. You are worried about the clock, but I am the Lord of time. If you had walked through the door a year ago, you would have failed. But when I open the right door at the right time, you will walk through it with power and peace. Trust the wall when you cannot see the bridge. The wall is there to stop your momentum before you fly off the handle or walk into a trap. I promise you that I am working for your good, even in the silence and the no. I see the big picture. I am the architect of your destiny, and I am not going to let you build your life on a foundation of sand. If I have to block your way to save your soul, I will do it every single time. Stop pounding on the doors I have locked. Turn around and look at me. I am standing right here, and I am trying to lead you toward a path that is safe, fruitful, and full of light. You might feel overlooked or forgotten, but you are actually being protected. You are being saved from the accidents of your own ambition. Rest in the knowledge that I am the gatekeeper of your life. No man can shut what I open, and no man can open what I have shut for your protection. You are safe in my hands. Pause for a moment and feel the weight of my gaze upon you. I am revealing the blueprints of your survival, and it would grieve my heart deeply if you turned away now, just as we are reaching the most critical turns in your path. Do not let the noise of the world pull you back into the danger zone when I am in the very middle of whispering your rescue. Your soul is too precious to me to leave this conversation unfinished. Stay with me, for the next words I speak are the ones that will keep your feet from the edge of the abyss. I want you to know that you are never walking a dangerous path alone. Right now, in this very moment, there are heavenly hosts dispatched for your safety. You cannot see them with your physical eyes, but they are there, standing between you and the great accident. I have moved heaven and earth more times than you can count to stop your fall. Have you ever had a sudden gut feeling to change your route while driving? Have you ever narrowly escaped a situation that could have been tragic? Those weren't coincidences, my child. Those were my messengers. Those were my angels reaching out their hands to steady your feet and shield your head. I am fighting an unseen battle for your physical, mental, and emotional well-being every single day. I invite you to acknowledge the divine interruptions in your schedule. A traffic jam that made you late. That lost set of keys that delayed your departure. Those were often my angels creating a buffer between you and a disaster. I am using my messengers to guard you in all your ways. I hear the prayers you whisper when you are scared, and I hear the prayers of those who love you, asking for my protection over your life. Those prayers activate the movement of my heavenly army. When you feel a sudden peace in the middle of a crisis, it is because I have surrounded you with a wall of fire. I am protecting you from the arrows that fly by day and the terrors that walk in the darkness. You are the apple of my eye, and I have given my angels charge over you. I want you to live with the comfort of knowing that I am your rear guard and your vanguard. I go before you to clear the way, and I follow behind you to protect your back. You do not have to live in a state of constant panic or hypervigilance. You can sleep in peace because I, the one who never slumbers nor sleeps, am watching over you. I am saving you from the accidents of a broken world and the malicious intents of the enemy. When the road gets narrow and the shadows grow long, do not be afraid. Close your eyes and breathe. I am right there. My angels are right there. We are holding the line. We are keeping the darkness at bay. You are cherished, You are valued, and you are guarded by the King of Kings. Walk with confidence today, knowing that the armies of heaven are moving on your behalf to ensure you reach the destination I have prepared for you. I want you to look closely at your life right now, my child, and identify the noise that has been cluttering your mind. You often think the great accident will come as a giant, visible monster, but I am telling you that it almost always begins as a small, harmless-looking distraction. I see how the enemy uses the mundane things of your world, the endless scrolling on your phone, the petty arguments with your neighbors, and the constant pursuit of more, to blur your vision of the truth. When your eyes are fixed on the distractions, you cannot see the obstacles I am trying to help you avoid. I am calling you to stay sober-minded and alert. You are living in a world designed to keep you numb, to keep you drifting in a fog of busyness so that you don't notice when you veered off the path of safety. Close your eyes for a moment and listen. Do you hear the static? That is the sound of the world trying to drown out my urgent warnings. I am whispering to you to pay attention. I see the lures that are being dangled in front of you, the promise of a shortcut to success that requires you to compromise your integrity, or the temptation to seek comfort in places that only leave you feeling more empty. These are not just choices. They are the early warning signs of a spiritual crash. I am asking you to cut off the noise. I want you to prune the things in your life that are taking up space, but providing no fruit. When your mind is stayed on me, I give you a focus that is like a laser beam, cutting through the darkness and showing you exactly where to place your feet. I am your Father, and I see the serpent's tactic of making the dangerous look desirable. He wants to distract you just long enough for you to lose your footing. But I am here to sharpen your spiritual reflexes. I am inviting you to practice the power of a focused mind. When you start your day, do not reach for the world's news first. Reach for me. Let my voice be the first frequency you tune into. I will tell you which way to go. I will show you which opportunities are actually traps in disguise. You have a destiny that is far too important to be derailed by a distraction. You are meant for greatness, but you must remain vigilant. I am saving you from the accident of a diverted life. I am pulling your gaze back to the center of my heart, where the path is clear and the light is bright. Trust me to lead you through the minefield of distractions. I am your clarity in the chaos. I know that your heart is heavy with the waiting. You feel like life is passing you by while you are stuck in the not yet season. You see others accelerating, and you wonder why I have put a limit on your speed. But I want you to listen to my wisdom today. Speed is often the enemy of spiritual safety. I am trying to save you from a structural failure in your soul. If I were to give you the platform, the wealth, or the responsibility you are asking for right now, the sheer weight of it would crush you because your character hasn't been reinforced yet. I am the master builder, and I know that a building can only go as high as its foundation is deep. I am using this waiting room in my kingdom as a place of protection. I am shielding you from the pressures that come with the fast lane of life. Think of this season as a safety inspection. I am checking the bolts of your heart. I am strengthening your spiritual constitution. I am teaching you how to handle the speed of your calling without losing your mind or your soul. Patience is not just a virtue. It is a fruit that prevents the rot of impulsive disaster. When you rush into a season before you are ready, you invite accidents that could have been avoided. You make decisions based on desperation rather than revelation. I am saving you from the wreckage of a premature start. I am holding you back because I love you, not because I am ignoring you. I am never late, my child. My timing is a perfect rhythm that accounts for every detail of your future. I invite you to rest in the not yet. Stop trying to kick down the doors that I have locked for your protection. Stop comparing your timeline to someone else's highlight reel. You do not know the accidents they are facing behind the scenes because they rushed ahead of my grace. I want you to be whole, not just successful. I want you to be steady, not just fast. I am building the character in you that will allow you to stay at the top once I put you there. I am teaching you to trust me in the silence, so that you can hear me in the roar of the crowd. Your waiting is not wasted time, it is invested time. I am protecting you from the great accident of a life that burns out before it truly begins. Lean into the slow work I am doing. I am the Lord of the seasons, and your harvest is safe in my hands. I am your light, and I am here to show you what is hidden in the shadows of your own life. You are a human being, and by nature, you have blind spots, areas of your life where logic and reason fail to see the spiritual warfare happening just beneath the surface. You might think you have everything under control, but I see the hidden snares that the enemy has placed in your blind spots. I see the pride that you think is just confidence. I see the resentment that you call standing your ground. I see the patterns of thought that are leading you toward a collision with spiritual ruin. I am asking you today to invite my spirit to search your heart. Ask me for eyes to see what you have been ignoring. I want to heal your vision so that you can see the road ahead with total clarity. I often use others in the body of Christ to warn you of danger. Have you noticed a friend or a mentor lately who has been pointing out something in your life that you don't want to hear? Do not dismiss them as being judgmental. That is often me using their voice to grab your arm before you step into a pit. I am trying to save you from the accident of tunnel vision. You get so focused on a worldly goal, a certain amount of money, a certain status, a certain relationship, that you stop looking at the cost to your soul. You are ignoring the warning lights on your spiritual dashboard. I am calling you to slow down. I am calling you to surrender your right to know everything and instead trust in the peace of my presence. I see the future that you cannot see, and I am trying to navigate you around the obstacles that are currently in your blind spots. I promise to be your spiritual sonar. When you walk closely with me, I will give you a knowing in your gut that bypasses your human understanding. I will alert you to the hidden dangers in your workplace, the subtle shifts in your marriage, and the quiet erosion of your faith. I am not trying to make you paranoid. I am trying to make you protected. I want you to live with a sense of divine awareness. I am your shepherd, and I know where the wolves are hiding in the tall grass. I am saving you from the accidents that happen when you rely solely on your own headlights. Let me be your vision. Let me illuminate the path. When you admit that you cannot see it all, you allow me to be the one who leads you safely home. I am the God who sees everything, and I am watching over you with a love that never blinks. I want to talk to you about that sudden, unexplained heaviness you sometimes feel in your spirit. You're going about your day, and suddenly, you feel a burden to pray, or a name pops into your head that you haven't thought of in years. My child, do not ignore those promptings. That is my spirit inviting you into a moment of divine intercession. I am prompting you to pray because there is a looming accident that needs to be broken by the power of my name. Your prayers are not just words whispered into the air. They are active forces that shift the spiritual atmosphere. When you feel that push to pray, stop what you are doing. You might be breaking a chain of addiction for a family member, or you might be standing in the gap for your own physical safety on the road later that day. I invite you to learn the prayer of protection. Speak the blood of the Lamb over your household, your children, and your journeys. This isn't a ritual. It is a declaration of my authority over your life. When you pray like this, you are activating the hedge of protection I have promised you. I am teaching your spirit to stay in constant communication with the tower. You are like a pilot in a storm, and I am the air traffic controller. I see the other planes in the sky. I see the weather patterns you are flying into. When I tell you to change altitude, it is because I am trying to save you from a mid-air collision. I am saving you through your own intercession. And I want you to know this. When you are too tired to pray, or when the weight of the world makes you feel like you can't find the words, I prompt others to pray for you. I move on the hearts of my people to hold you up when you are falling. I am your refuge and your strength. I am the God who hears and answers. I want you to live in a state of prayerful alertness. You don't have to be afraid of the great accident when you are in constant conversation with the one who controls the outcome. I am using your prayers to steer you away from the wreck and toward the harbor. Every Lord, help me, and every thank you, Father, is a steering correction that keeps you in the center of my will. I am saving you from the accident of a prayerless life, which is a life lived without a compass. I am your North Star. Keep talking to me. Keep listening for my promptings. I'm moving in your life right now because you are calling out to me, and I am responding with a wall of protection that the enemy cannot penetrate. I have shown you the power of a prompted prayer, and now I am prompting your heart to become a beacon of safety for others. Just as I have whispered to you to save you from a great accident, I am inviting you to fuel the light that warns the world of the darkness ahead. When you sow through a super thanks with a link in the description, you are not just giving. You are planting seeds of divine protection that will grow into a hedge for the broken. Your seed is the oil that keeps this lamp burning, ensuring that my word reaches the ears of those driving blindly toward ruin. I declare over you that as you honor my mission, I will multiply your bread and shield your storehouse from every devourer. This is your divine appointment to partner with the watchman of Israel who never slumbers. Trust the nudge you feel in this moment and act with a heart of fire. Go now to the link and release your gift to secure the path for 1,000 souls. My child, do you hear the urgency in my voice? I am pouring out my spirit to shield you from things you cannot yet fathom, and it would be a profound disappointment to see you walk away while my hand is still outstretched to save you. To stop listening now is to reject the very light I am using to pierce your darkness. I have so much more to reveal about the snares that wait for you, and I implore you to honor the love I am showing you by staying here in my presence. Do not abandon the sanctuary we have built together in this moment. I want to speak directly to the ways you have been hurting yourself, my child. I see the internal accidents caused by the unhealed trauma of your past. I see the way you push people away when they get too close, or the way you sabotage your own success because you don't feel worthy of it. I am trying to save you from the harm you would do to your own soul. You carry the scars of what people have said about you, and you have started to believe their lies. You have built habits that are destructive, ways of coping that feel like medicine but are actually poison. I am here to break those cycles. I am here to replace those destructive rhythms with the steady, healing rhythm of my grace. I see you when you are your own worst enemy, and I am extending a hand of mercy to pull you back from the fire. Stop touching the fire, my child. You know which habits I am talking about. You know the cycles of thought that lead you into a dark pit of depression or a frenzy of anxiety. I am asking you to walk away from the flame. I am not judging you. I am trying to rescue you. I want you to learn to love yourself the way I love you. When you see your value through my eyes, you stop settling for things that destroy you. You stop entering into relationships that drain your light. You stop treating your body like it is a burden instead of a temple. I am saving you from the great accident of a self-inflicted ruin. I want to heal the why behind your self-sabotage. I want to go back to the moment your heart was broken and bind it up with my own hands. I invite you to step into a new rhythm. Every morning, tell yourself what I say about you. You are chosen. You are precious. You are more than a conqueror. These are not just motivational phrases. They are spiritual truths that reinforce your identity. When your identity is secure in me, you stop trying to sabotage the good things I am bringing into your life. You stop waiting for the other shoe to drop. I am the God of the second chance, and the third, and the 100th. I am mending the road you have torn up yourself. I am smoothing out the bumps. I am saving you from yourself so that you can finally become the person I created you to be. Trust my love to be the anchor that keeps you from drifting back into the storm. You are worth saving. You are worth the effort. I am not giving up on you, so do not give up on yourself. I want you to look at yourself through my eyes, my child. I do not see a victim of circumstance or someone left vulnerable to the whims of the world. I see a warrior who needs to be dressed for the reality of the road. I am providing you with a divine suit of armor, not because I want to weigh you down, but because I am trying to save you from the impact of the collisions you cannot avoid. Think of this armor as your spiritual safety gear. Before you step out of your door, before you open your laptop, and before you engage in that difficult conversation with your spouse or your boss, I want you to consciously put on what I have provided. This is your first line of defense against the great accident of spiritual and emotional collapse. Start with a belt of truth. In a world full of lies, social media filters, and deceptive shortcuts, my truth is the only thing that will keep your life from falling apart. If your belt is loose, if you are living in compromise or telling small lies, you will trip over your own feet when the pressure increases. I am telling you to cinch that belt tight. Let my word be the absolute standard for your reality. When you walk in truth, you walk with a steady gait. You don't have to worry about being found out because there is nothing hidden. I am saving you from the accident of a fractured identity. You are who I say you are, and my truth is the foundation that holds everything else together. Next, I want you to slide the breastplate of righteousness over your chest. This is the shield for your heart. I know how sensitive your heart is, my child. I see how deeply you feel the stings of betrayal and the weight of disappointment. I am giving you my righteousness to protect your vital organs, your emotions, your desires, and your will. When the enemy hurls accusations at you, telling you that you are a failure or that you don't deserve my love, the breastplate absorbs the blow. It keeps the impact from reaching your core. I am saving you from the great accident of a broken spirit. Do not leave your heart exposed to the bitterness of the world. Wear my goodness as your protection. Now look at your feet. I am girding them with the gospel of peace. Have you ever tried to run a race on a rocky path while barefoot? You would slip, you would bleed, and you would eventually stop. I am giving you shoes that provide a steady grip even when the ground beneath you is shaking. This peace is not just a feeling, it is a firm footing. It allows you to walk into a war zone at work or a storm at home without losing your balance. I am saving you from the accident of panic. When others are sliding and falling around you, you will stand firm because your feet are anchored in the good news of my presence. Reach out your hand and take the shield of faith. This is perhaps your most vital piece of equipment for the journey. The enemy is constantly firing fiery darts at you. Sudden thoughts of catastrophe, flashes of fear about your finances, or sharp pangs of doubt about your future. These darts are designed to start a fire in your mind that leads to a total wreck. But when you lift the shield of faith, every single one of those darts is quenched. Faith is not just believing, it is the active shield that says, I trust my Father more than I trust this fear. I am saving you from the accident of sudden calamity by giving you a way to stop the fire before it spreads. Finally, put on the helmet of salvation and take up the sword of the Spirit. The helmet protects your thoughts. It keeps your mind from being overwhelmed by the accidents of negative thinking and mental exhaustion. It reminds you that you are saved. You are mine, and the end of your story is already written in my blood. And the sword, that is my word. It is the only offensive weapon you have. Use it to cut through the webs of confusion that the enemy tries to spin around your destiny. I am giving you these tools because I want you to be a survivor. I want you to be uncrashable. I am saving you by equipping you. You are not going into the world defenseless. You are backed by the armory of heaven. Stand tall, my beloved. You are ready for the road. I want to invite you into a deeper level of intimacy with me, because the great accident is often avoided in the quietest of moments. You live in a world that is incredibly loud. Everyone is shouting for your attention. Your phone is buzzing, the news is screaming, and your own internal to-do list is a constant roar in your head. But I want you to know that my most important warnings and my most life-saving directions are rarely shouted. I speak in a still, small voice. I speak in a whisper that requires you to lean in, to be still, and to tune your heart to my frequency. I am trying to save you from spiritual deafness, which is one of the primary causes of a life wreck. Think of a pilot landing a plane in a thick fog. He cannot rely on what he sees out the window. He has to trust the radio frequency of the control tower. If he gets distracted by the noise in the cockpit or the wind outside, he will miss the coordinates for a safe landing. You are that pilot, and I am the tower. I am giving you coordinates for your life every single day, but if you don't cultivate an ear for my voice, you will miss the turn-off that leads to safety. I am saving you from the accident of a blind landing. I want you to practice the art of listening prayer. This isn't just you telling me what you need. It is you sitting in my presence and asking, Father, what are you saying to me today? I see the danger of the season of transition you are in. When life is changing, when you are starting a new job, moving to a new city, or navigating a change in your health, the noise increases. This is when you are most at risk of an accident because you are moving fast through unfamiliar territory. I am calling you to use my scripture as a red light in your life. When you read my word, does a certain verse jump out at you and make you stop? That is my whisper. When you feel a sudden, deep peace about one path and a cold, uneasy feeling about another, that is my frequency. I am trying to help you differentiate between my peace and the world's comfort. The world offers comfort that is temporary and often leads to a trap. I offer peace that transcends understanding and leads to safety. I want you to be honest with me. When was the last time you were truly still? I don't mean just sitting on the couch with the TV on. I mean a stillness where you can hear your own heartbeat and feel my breath on your soul. I am inviting you into that space today. I am saving you from the accident of a hurried life. A hurried life is a dangerous life because it lacks the buffer of reflection. I want to give you back that buffer. I want to show you the obstacles that are hidden in the speed of your day. I am your Father, and I love the sound of your voice. But I also want you to love the sound of mine. I promise you that if you seek me in the silence, you will find me. I will give you a knowing that cannot be explained by logic. I will show you the green lights and the red lights of the Spirit. I am saving you from the great accident of missing your moment because you were too busy listening to the noise. Come away with me for a few minutes each day. Let the world fade into the background. Let my whisper become your loudest reality. I am the God who speaks, and I am speaking words of life and safety over you right now. Can you hear me? I am here. I am always here. I want to speak to you about the people I have placed in your life, my child. You were never meant to walk this road as a lone ranger. I see the temptation you face to handle everything on your own, to keep your struggles a secret, and your plans to yourself. But I am telling you, there is a profound danger in isolation. Isolation is the breeding ground for the great accident. When you are alone, your perspective is limited. You can only see what is directly in front of you. I am trying to save you from the blind spots of your own ego by surrounding you with a community of wisdom. I speak through the elders, the mentors, and the wise friends I have strategically placed in your circle. Think of these people as the guardrails on a winding mountain road. You might feel like the guardrail is in your way or restricting your freedom, but its only purpose is to keep you from flying off the edge when you lose control. I am often using a friend to grab your arm or a mentor to give you a hard word because I am trying to save your life. I am asking you today to have the humility to listen. If 3 people you trust are telling you that a certain relationship is toxic or a certain business move is risky, do not ignore them. That is not a coincidence. That is me using my body to protect you. I am saving you from the accident of your own stubbornness. I see the Lone Ranger mentality for what it really is, a fear of being seen or a pride that says, I don't need help. But I am the God of community. I designed you to need others. When you submit your plans to those who hold your soul in high regard, you are inviting a multitude of counsel that brings safety. I want you to be part of a community where people can say stop to you, and you will actually listen. I am saving you from the wreckage of a life lived in a vacuum. A vacuum has no air, and eventually, you will suffocate under the weight of your own mistakes. I am providing you with the oxygen of godly advice. I invite you to look at your current relationships. Who are the people you have given permission to speak into your life? If the answer is no one, then you are in a danger zone. I am asking you to reach out. I am asking you to be vulnerable. Find a brother or a sister who walks with me and share the weight of the great accident you feel looming. When you bring things into the light, the enemy loses his power to cause a crash. I am saving you by connecting you. I am weaving you into a tapestry of believers who can hold you up when you are weak and pull you back when you are wandering toward the edge. I promise that I will give you discernment to know who to trust. Not everyone has earned the right to speak into your heart, but I have already prepared the wise few for you. Look for the fruit in their lives. Look for the peace in their spirits. When they speak, and it aligns with my word and my still, small voice, pay attention. I am trying to save you from years of regret. I am trying to keep you on the path of blessing. You are not alone on this road, and you don't have to figure it all out by yourself. I am your Father, and I have provided a family to walk with you. Accept the gift of counsel. It is a lifeline I am throwing to you today. I am calling you back to the secret place, my child. You have been running so hard and so fast that your soul is starting to fray at the edges. I see the operator error that happens when you are exhausted, the irritability, the poor decisions, and the loss of focus. This is how the great accident often happens. It's not a sudden attack, but a gradual burnout that leads to a catastrophic failure. I am trying to save you from yourself by inviting you to retreat. I am the God of the Sabbath, and I designed the rhythm of rest not as a suggestion, but as a spiritual necessity for your survival. I want you to make my presence your primary residence, not just a place you visit when things go wrong. Close your eyes and imagine a high-performance vehicle. Even the fastest car in the world has to pull into the pit stop to recalibrate, refuel, and change the tires. If the driver refuses to stop because he is too busy winning, the engine will eventually explode. You are that vehicle, and my presence is your pit stop. I am trying to save you from a burnout collision. I want you to find the blueprint for your safety in the silence of my presence. When you step back from the world and enter the secret place, Psalm 91, You are entering a literal refuge. The arrows of the enemy cannot find you there. The pressures of your job cannot reach you there. The noise of the world is muffled by the sound of my love. I invite you to recalibrate your heart today. What have you been prioritizing over your time with me? I know you feel like you don't have enough time, but I am the Lord of time. When you give me the first fruits of your day, I have a way of stretching the remaining hours so that you get more done with less stress. I am saving you from the accident of a whole life, a life that looks successful on the outside but is empty on the inside. I want to fill you with a peace that is so deep that the storms of life can't even touch the bottom of your soul. This is where your power comes from. This is where your transformation happens. I am asking you to set a boundary of worship around your life. Let the atmosphere of my presence shift the trajectory of your day. When you worship me, you are not just singing songs, you are realigning your perspective with my sovereignty. You are reminding your soul that I am in control, which releases the grip of anxiety that leads to accidents. I am your fortress. I am your high tower. When you stay in the secret place, you are crash-proof because you are hidden in me. I see the exhaustion in your eyes, and I am telling you, it is okay to stop. It is okay to breathe. It is okay to let me carry the weight for a while. I promise you that if you make me your dwelling place, you will see the road ahead with new clarity. The fog of fatigue will lift. The engine of your spirit will be renewed. I am saving you from the great accident of a wasted, weary life. I have so much I want to show you, but I can't show it to you while you are running at full speed. Come into the quiet. Let me wash your feet. Let me quiet your mind. I am your rest. I am your home. I am waiting for you in the secret place, and I have all the strength you need to finish the journey with joy. Look into the depths of my love and see how much I have invested in your safety. It would bring a great sorrow to my spirit if you chose the distractions of the world over the divine recalibration I am offering you right now. We are standing at the threshold of your transformation, and to leave now would be to leave your armor half-fastened and your heart exposed to the enemy's strike. I am calling you deeper. Do not wound my heart by retreating into the cold silence of the world when my fire is ready to warm you. I want to talk to you about the slick roads of your soul, my child. I see the bitterness you have been holding on to, the memories of who hurt you, who cheated you, and who walked away when you needed them most. You think that by holding on to this anger, you are protecting yourself. But I am telling you the truth. Unforgiveness is a heavy burden that is causing you to lose traction. It creates a slick road that makes it impossible for you to stay on the path I have set for you. I am trying to save you from the great accident of a hardened heart. Bitterness is like an oil leak in your spirit. Eventually, it will cause your entire life to skid out of control. I invite you to release the debt today. Forgiveness is not about saying what they did was okay. It is about handing the bill to me and letting me settle the account. When you refuse to forgive, you are tethered to the person who hurt you. You are allowing their past actions to dictate your future safety. I am trying to save you from the accident of a rear-end collision with your own past. If you are constantly looking in the rearview mirror at your old wounds, you cannot see the obstacles that are directly in front of you. I am calling you to wash your eyes with grace. When you forgive, the oil slick is cleaned up, and you regain your grip on the road of life. I see the weight of the grudges you carry. They make your heart heavy and your reactions sharp. They cause you to snap at the people you love because you are still bleeding from the people who hated you. I am saving you from the accident of destroying your current relationships because of your past pain. I want you to walk unencumbered. I want you to feel the lightness of grace. I am the God who forgave you of a debt you could never pay, and I am asking you to extend that same mercy to others, not for their sake, but for yours. I want you to be free. I want you to be safe. I promise that if you release the bitterness, I will fill that empty space with my peace. I will heal the places where you were torn. I will give you a clear view of the road ahead. You cannot drive safely if your windshield is covered in the mud of resentment. Let me wash it clean today. I am saving you from the great accident of becoming exactly like the people who hurt you. I want your heart to remain tender and open to the blessings I am trying to pour into it. A hardened heart cannot receive. It can only repel. I am your healer, and I am standing here with the balm of Gilead for your wounds. Trust me with your justice. You don't have to be the judge, the jury, and the executioner. I am the righteous judge, and I see every tear you shed. I will handle the people who hurt you, but I need you to step out of the courtroom and back onto the road. I am saving you from the accident of a wasted, bitter future. There is so much beauty ahead of you, but you have to let go of the trash from your past to reach out and grab it. Choose forgiveness today. Choose life. Choose the safety of a heart that is clean and a spirit that is free. I am walking with you, and I will help you let go, one breath at a time. I want you to look at your day through a different lens, my child. You often look for me only in the miracles, the big breakthroughs, the sudden healings, or the unexpected financial windfalls. But I am asking you to find my hand in the mundane, the ordinary, and the seemingly annoying interruptions of your daily life. I am the Lord of the small details, and I am telling you that my providence is often hidden in the things you complain about. How many times have you lost your keys right when you were ready to walk out the door? How many times has a traffic jam made you late for a meeting, or a sudden phone call changed your entire schedule? I want you to consider that those moments were not accidents. They were my way of saving your life. I am moving in the lost seconds to keep you from a great accident that was waiting for you further down the road. Stop and breathe for a moment. Think about that meeting that was canceled at the last minute. You felt rejected or frustrated. But I am telling you, I blocked that path because I saw the toxicity in that room that would have poisoned your spirit. I am the God of the closed door and the delayed start. I am working even when your GPS seems broken and you feel like you are driving in circles. I am using the mundane details of your life to synchronize your movement with my perfect timing. You are in a rush to get to the destination, but I am protecting the journey. I am saving you from the accident of being in the wrong place at the wrong time. I am your shield in the traffic, your guard in the grocery store, and your guide in the office. I invite you to develop a heart of gratitude for the unseen deliverances. Most of the things I save you from, you will never even know about until you are in heaven with me. You will see the car that didn't hit you because you were delayed by 30 seconds. You will see the illness you didn't catch because I moved you away from a certain place. I am asking you to trust me with the small stuff. When things don't go according to your plan, do not let your heart be troubled. Instead, say, Father, I trust your hand in this delay. This shift in perspective will save you from the great accident of a bitter and anxious soul. I am your Father, and I am meticulously weaving every aspect of your life into a masterpiece of safety and grace. I am calling you to build a spiritual constitution that does not break under impact. You live in a world that is full of outward pressure, economic shifts, political noise, and the constant demands of people who want a piece of your time and energy. If you are only strong on the outside, the great accident of a total internal collapse is inevitable. I am trying to save you from a structural failure of the soul. Just as a building must have a reinforced frame to withstand an earthquake, your life must be reinforced by my word and my spirit. I am asking you to focus on the inner man. I want you to be so anchored in me that when the winds of change howl and the ground beneath you trembles, you remain unshakable. I invite you to use my word as the steel in your foundation. Do not just read it for information, eat it for transformation. When you fill your mind with my promises, you are reinforcing the frame of your life. I see the rainy days that are coming, the seasons of grief, the moments of lack, and the trials of faith, and I am telling you to prepare while the sun is still shining. Strengthening your spirit through prayer and fasting is not about following a religious rule. It is about sharpening your spiritual reflexes. I am saving you from the accident of being caught off guard. When your inner man is strong, you can see the enemy's attack coming from a mile away, and you have the power to stand your ground. I am your anchor in the storm. I see the pressure you feel to perform and to have it all together. But I am telling you that true stability comes from surrendering to my strength. Why would you try to carry the weight of the world on your own shoulders when I have already overcome the world? I am saving you from the accident of spiritual burnout. I am giving you a peace that is not dependent on your circumstances. When you are rooted in my love, the outward pressures of life cannot crush you. They can only press you closer to me. I am your fortress, and I am building something in you that the world cannot take away. Let me strengthen you from the inside out. Your safety is found in my power, not your own. I want to talk to you about the weight of your second chance. I have saved you from the fire more times than you can count. I have pulled you back from the edge of the great accident and mended the pieces of your broken heart. But I am asking you today, what are you doing with the life I have preserved? There is a responsibility that comes with being rescued. I did not save you so that you could walk back into the same danger zone or waste your days chasing things that lead to death. I saved you for a purpose. I saved you because I have a holy urgency for your life. I want you to value the life I have bought with my own blood. Think about the near misses you have experienced, the times when you knew, deep down, that it was only my grace that kept you alive or kept your family together. Those moments were not just for your relief, they were for your transformation. I am inviting you to use your testimony of safety to save others from their own accidents. You are a living witness of my protection. When you tell others how I stayed your hand or how I blocked a path of destruction, you are throwing a lifeline to someone who is currently heading for a crash. I am saving you so that you can become a savior of many in my name. Do not waste the rescue by living a small, fearful life. I see the tragedy of those who are rescued only to return to the very thing that almost destroyed them. I am calling you to walk away from the danger zone once and for all. Do not play with the fire I just pulled you out of. I am saving you from the accident of a wasted destiny. Your life is not your own. It was bought at a high price. I am asking you to live with a sense of gratitude that translates into action. Glorify my name with the breath I have returned to your lungs. Use the time I have added to your years to build my kingdom. I am your deliverer, and I have great plans for your future. Do not look back at the wreckage. Look forward to the glory I am preparing for you. I want to teach you how to respond to the yellow lights of your soul, my child. You often wait for a red light, a total stop or a massive crisis, before you change your direction. But I am trying to save you from a great accident by giving you warning signs long before the wreck occurs. These are the subtle pinches in your conscience, the quiet unease in your gut, and the small compromises that start to feel normal. I am telling you the truth. Small compromises lead to great accidents. If you ignore the yellow light of a small sin or a minor shortcut, you are training your heart to be deaf to my voice. I am asking you to keep a tender conscience that feels the slightest nudge of my spirit. Look at your life today. Are there areas where you are pushing the envelope with my grace? Are you lingering in places you shouldn't be, or entertaining thoughts that you know are leading you away from my peace? I am giving you a yellow light right now. It is a signal to slow down, to pray, and to reassess. I am not trying to ruin your fun. I am trying to prevent your ruin. The blessing of a tender heart is that you can feel the danger before it becomes a disaster. I am saving you from the accident of a seared conscience. When you respond quickly to my warnings, you stay in the green light of my blessing. I invite you to respect the boundaries I have set for your own good. My commandments are not suggestions to be debated. They are the rules of the road for a life of safety. When you see a yellow light in your relationships or your business dealings, do not speed up to try and beat the light. Stop. Wait. Ask me for direction. I am the God of wisdom, and I see the intersection ahead that you cannot see. I am saving you from the accident of your own impulsiveness. I love you enough to warn you, but you must choose to listen. Be quick to repent and quick to obey. The yellow light is a gift of mercy. Use it to correct your course before the path turns into a dead end. I am your guide, and I am leading you toward a life of no regrets. You have felt my hand steering you away from the wrecks of compromise, and now I invite you to help me build the guardrails for those still caught in the storm. I am calling you to become a pillar in this sanctuary of truth by joining our membership or sowing a seed of faith through PayPal. Every gift you release is a stone in the wall of protection I am building around my people to save them from a great accident of the spirit. My word says that he who sows bountifully will also reap bountifully, and I am ready to open the windows of heaven over your obedience. Do not let the enemy tell you that your seed is too small. In my hands, it becomes the manna that sustains a generation. Your support is the bridge that carries my voice across the digital wilderness to the heart of the wanderer. I bless your hands, your house, and your future as you step out in this act of holy stewardship. Click the link in the description and respond to the call of my spirit today. We are nearing the finish line of this sacred encounter, and the weight of what is at stake has never been greater. It would be a tragedy of the soul if you grew weary and stopped listening just as I am about to show you how to walk in total victory. I have moved heaven and earth to get your attention today. Do not let my effort be in vain by closing your ears before the final blessing is released. I am your Father, and I am pleading with you to stay alert, for the final keys to your deliverance are about to be placed in your hands. I want you to rest in the most powerful truth of all. I am in control, and nothing, absolutely nothing, catches me by surprise. You are worried about the great accident because you feel like life is a chaotic series of random events. But I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end of your journey. I have a high view of your life that accounts for every curve, every hill, and every obstacle in your road. I am the architect of your days, and even when the construction of your life feels loud and messy, the blueprint is perfect. I am trying to save you from the accident of chronic fear. I want you to know the security of being held in the palm of my hand. Close your eyes and feel my presence surrounding you like a thick, impenetrable shield. You do not have to live in a state of hypervigilance, constantly waiting for the other shoe to drop. I am the one who holds the keys to your future. I have already seen the accidents the enemy has planned for you, and I have already created a way of escape. I am saving you through my sovereignty. When you realize that I am the Lord over your boss, your bank account, and your health, the great accident loses its power to terrify you. I am the God who makes a way where there is no way. I am the God who turns the shadow of death into the light of the morning. I invite you to surrender your steering wheel to my divine hands. Most of your anxiety comes from trying to control things that are only mine to handle. You are not the driver. You are the passenger, and I am the master of the road. I am saving you from the accident of ego-driven disaster. When you let me lead, you can finally experience the peace that transcends understanding. Trust the architect even when you don't understand the design. I have already overcome the world you walk in. I have already defeated the enemy who wants to wreck you. You are safe because I am sovereign. Fear not, my child. I am with you, and I will never let you go. Your life is anchored in the eternal, and there is no accident great enough to pull you out of my love. I am calling you to step out into the unknown with me, my child. You have spent so much of your life relying on what you can see, touch, and measure. You trust your bank account balance. You trust the GPS on your dashboard, and you trust the logic of your own mind. But I am telling you that human sight is limited, and in the spiritual realm, relying solely on your physical eyes is like trying to navigate a dense mountain fog with only a pair of dim headlights. I am trying to save you from the great accident of a life lived only on the surface. I am calling you to walk by faith. This is not a blind leap into the dark. It is a conscious step into my light. When the fog of life rolls in, when you lose your job, when a diagnosis scares you, or when a relationship ends, your physical sight will tell you that it's over. But faith acts as a spiritual sonar in the dark. It tells you that I am still there, moving, protecting, and leading you toward the shore. I invite you to have the courage to step even when you cannot see the landing. Think about a child jumping into their father's arms in a swimming pool. The child cannot see the bottom, and they might even be afraid of the water, but they jump because they see the father's face and they trust his strength. I am that father, and I am standing in the deep waters of your future, waiting to catch you. I am saving you from the accident of paralysis by analysis. You spend so much time overthinking every move, trying to calculate every risk, that you miss the momentum of my spirit. I am asking you to trust my direction more than you trust your own map. I often lead you through the valley not to punish you, but to avoid the mountain slide that is happening on the other side of the peak. You see the struggle of the climb. I see the disaster I am helping you bypass. I see the fear in your heart when the path ahead looks empty. You feel like you are walking off a cliff, but I am the one who creates the bridge beneath your feet with every step of faith you take. I am saving you from the accident of a small life. If you only go where you can see, you will never go where I am. I have prepared exceedingly abundantly for you, but those blessings are found on the path of faith. I am your North Star. When you cannot see the road, look at me. Listen for the sound of my voice. I am not asking you to understand the plan. I am asking you to trust the planner. Your reward for this trust is a peace that the world cannot give and a safety that the world cannot take away. Walk with me today, not by the flickering light of your own understanding, but by the eternal light of my promise. I have never led you astray, and I am not starting now. I want to talk to you about the beauty of the U-turn, my child. You have been told that repentance is a heavy, shameful word, a punishment for your failures. But I am telling you that repentance is one of the greatest tools of protection I have ever given you. It is a divine course correction. I see when you have taken a wrong turn and are heading toward a dead end or a bridge that has been washed out. I see the great accident at the end of the path of pride or lust or greed. I am calling out to you, not to condemn you but to save you. Repentance is simply you hearing my voice and deciding to turn your steering wheel back toward me. It is the only way to avoid the crash that lies at the end of a life lived apart from my grace. I invite you to come home to me before the storm breaks. Do not wait until your life is in pieces to ask for my help. I am a father who is always looking at the horizon, waiting for my child to turn back toward the house. I see the debris of your mistakes, the broken promises, the hidden habits, the words you wish you could take back. I am not here to rub your face in the mess. I am here to wash you clean and give you a fresh start. I am saving you from the great accident of a wasted life. When you repent, you aren't just saying I'm sorry. You are saying I trust your way more than mine. I take the wreckage of your past and I use it to pave a new road of mercy. There is no path so broken that I cannot mend it, and no soul so far gone that I cannot rescue it. Choose the path of life over the path of destruction today. I see the red lights you've been running, thinking you could get away with just one more compromise. I am telling you, stop now. Turn around. The mending of a broken path is much easier than the reconstruction of a total wreck. I am your Redeemer, and my mercy is new every single morning. Do not let the enemy tell you that it is too late or that you have gone too far. That is a lie designed to keep you on the road to disaster. I am standing right here at the intersection, waving you back toward safety. One act of genuine repentance can shift the entire trajectory of your eternity. Let me wash your eyes with grace so you can see the beauty of the road I have for you. Walk with me in the light, where the way is clear and the destination is certain. I am calling you to a state of spiritual alertness, my child. We are living in a season where the world is trembling, and the great accident of global chaos is pressing in on every side. I am trying to save you from being unshakable by making sure you are ready. Think of this as the final check before a long journey. I want you to keep your lamp trimmed and your oil full. This means staying in constant communication with me, keeping your heart pure, and keeping your mind focused on things above. I am saving you from the accident of spiritual slumber. When you fall asleep at the wheel of your faith, you become vulnerable to the snares and traps of the enemy that are designed for the final hours. I invite you to make checking in with me a daily, hourly habit. Do not just talk to me on Sundays or when you are in trouble. I want to be the master of the road in every mundane moment. I see the distractions that are trying to pull your eyes off the destination, the political anger, the economic fear, and the social pressures. I am telling you to set your mind on me. When your mind is stayed on me, I keep you in perfect peace, even when the world around you is falling apart. I am saving you from the accident of panic. A person who is ready does not panic when the storm hits because they already know where their anchor is. I am your anchor. I am your fortress. I am the one who makes you stand firm when everything else is shaking. I want you to live with a sense of holy readiness. This is not a life of fear, but a life of power. It means you are so tuned into my frequency that you hear the warning before the danger arrives. You are like a watchman on the wall, seeing the enemy from a distance and closing the gates before the attack. I am saving you from the accident of a surprised soul. I have told you everything you need to know in my word. I have given you my spirit to lead you into all truth. Do not be caught off guard by the shifts in the world. Stay close to my heart, and you will always know what time it is in the spirit. I am your guide through the final stretch of the road, and I am ensuring that you reach the finish line with your head held high and your heart full of joy. Be alert. Be sober. Be mine. My beloved child, we have walked through many truths today, and my heart overflows with love for you. I want to leave you with one final, eternal invitation. Enter into my rest. The great accident you have been running from, the fear of failure, the weight of sin, the sting of death, has already been overcome by me. I am your refuge and your fortress, and the ultimate safety you seek is not found in a better job, a safer neighborhood, or a healthier body. It is found in the shadow of the Almighty. I am inviting you to stop trying to drive the car of your life. I am asking you to hand over the steering wheel to my divine hands once and for all. This is where your transformation reaches its climax. This is where you walk out of the danger zone and into my everlasting arms. I promise you that I will never leave you nor forsake you on this road. Even when the path gets dark and you feel the breath of the enemy on your neck, I am right there. I am the peace that transcends all understanding, and I am guarding your heart and your mind today. I am saving you from the accident of eternal separation. I have bought you with a price, and I have written your name on the palm of my hand. You are not a random traveler. You are a royal heir. I am calling you to live in the reality of my protection every single hour. When you wake up, remember that I am your shield. When you go to sleep, remember that I am your guard. I am the Lord of your journey, and I have already prepared a place for you where there are no more accidents, no more tears, and no more pain. I invite you to breathe in my presence one last time. Feel the great accident of your worries dissolving in the light of my sovereignty. I have you. I have your family. I have your future. You can rest now. You can let go of the tension in your soul. I am the God who saves, the God who protects, and the God who loves you with a passion that the world cannot comprehend. Walk out into your day with the confidence of a child who knows their father is the king of the universe. I am the master of the road, and I am leading you safely home. The journey may be long, and the road may be winding, but with me by your side, your arrival is guaranteed. Enter into my rest, my precious one. You are safe. You are loved. You are mine. We have reached the end of this journey together, and I have brought you safely into the shadow of my wings to rest. As you dwell in this peace, I am asking you to help me extend these everlasting arms to those who are still racing toward a catastrophic collision with the world. I am looking for those who will stand with me as partners in this mission through super thanks or a direct gift to the link provided. Your generosity is the river that carries my healing water to the parched places where souls are perishing for lack of a warning. I promise you that the house that honors my word will never know the accident of lack or the sting of the desert. I am marking this moment as a season of supernatural favor for you, where your giving activates a new level of my providence in your mundane details. This is my command of love. Be the channel through which my rescue flows to the ends of the earth. Go to the description now and seal your faith with a seed that speaks of life. I have set a feast of protection before you, and now I invite you to seal this divine encounter with a bold declaration of your faith. Do not let this moment pass into the shadows. Instead, reach out and claim the shield I am holding over your life right now. Strike a blow against the enemy's plans by typing "I am safe in his hands" in the comments as a prophetic anchor for your soul. By speaking these words, you are aligning your reality with my sovereignty and slamming the door shut on every great accident the darkness has dared to plot against you. Stand tall, my beloved, and let the world hear your heart cry out that you are guarded, guided, and kept by the King of Kings. Your declaration is your defense. Make it now, and walk forward in the absolute certainty of my power. Amen.